Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
Good morning to you. I'm Tawna Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Monday, June 9, 2025. Kelsey Farragon to be laid to rest today, a month after being raped and strangled at her home in Spanish Town. JCF reports seizing 459 illegal guns since the start of the year. PNP President renews his call for Dennis Chung to step down from the FID. In regional news, St. Vincent Prime Minister urges peace and calm between TNT and Venezuela. In international news, California governor calls Trump National Guard deployment in LA unlawful. In sports, a second four-day match between West Indies and South Africa continues at the Darren Sammy Stadium today. And in business, US and China are set to meet for trade talks in London. The details after the break.
Have you ever been to a store and felt right at home? The minute you entered, you knew that's where you were meant to be. Picture it. The dedicated warm staff greet you with a smile, show exceptional professionalism, and still make you feel like family. Everything is catered to you. You know you're getting the best, because to them, you're the best. That's the New Walters Pharmacy, 18 High Street, Black River. Call 965-2264 or 476-3939. The New Walters Pharmacy. Pharmacy, everything exceptional.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. The funeral service for 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon is set for today, Monday, June 9, starting at 11 a.m. It will be held at Spanish Town Seventh-day Adventist Church located at 7 Brunswick Avenue, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Kelsey's partially naked body was discovered stuffed in a barrel at her home in the parish on May 9. She was raped and strangled. Her alleged killer, Giovanni Ellis, was shot dead in a reported confrontation with the police 3 days later on May 12. It's understood the police seized an illegal firearm in the confrontation. Ellis, otherwise called Cooliman, was said to be a repeat offender who was out on bail at the time. Young Kelsey was a grade 4 student at St. John's Primary School in St. Catherine. Kelsey's class teacher, Candice Coburn, described her as a modest student and a true scholar.
Kelsey, all the positive words you could think of. She's a leader. I appointed her to be the group leader for our group. She's always someone who you would come to find a solution to try and fix a problem that's happening in the class. Kelsey was so quiet. She was so quiet. She didn't shout. She's kind. She would normally walk around and check on the other students. If someone is not eating, that's Kelsey. She's going to come and tell me, and she's going to say, Miss Coburn, this boy is not eating. He said this or he said that. I don't know if he spent off the lunch money, but that's what he said. And you know, she would share her lunch with the person.
Candice Coburn, Kelsey's class teacher. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is reporting substantial gains in its mission to rescue Jamaica's most vulnerable children who are forced to live and work on the streets. The project is being done through its Street and Working Children Initiative, which was launched in June last year. Chief Executive Officer of the CPFSA, Lord Adams Thomas, says the program is already making a noticeable difference in the targeted communities.
We are seeing fewer children on the streets in areas where they were once frequent. That is a direct result of the strong partnerships and consistent engagement with families and community members. This is not just about removing children from harm, but about empowering their families and communities to keep them safe in school and thriving.
The Street and Working Children program was rolled out in 8 high-priority communities across the island. The communities are Yallis in St. Thomas, Majestic Gardens in Kingston, Old Harbour in St. Catherine, Rocky Point in Clarendon, Port Marie in St. Mary, Retirement in St. James, as well as Parrytown and Oterius in St. Anne. The project is a direct response to findings from a 2020 study commissioned by the CPFSA, which revealed that children as young as 5 years old were actively engaged in street hustling and vending. The study identified over 300 children who were living and or working on the streets across 9 parishes. It says these children were often exposed to exploitation, abuse, and limited access to education, stemming primarily from poverty, family breakdown, and systemic neglect. Mrs. Adams Thomas says that the program has reached 170 children who've since been reintegrated into the formal school system.
With just the completion of phase 1, we now have 170 children less on the streets. 170 children who have been redirected from a perilous path. 170 children who will not be coming into state care.
Lord Adams Thomas, CEO of the CPFSA. The police are probing the death of a nurse whose body was found face down at an apartment in Hillside, Knockpatrick, Manchester on Saturday. The woman has been identified as 42-year-old Navinor Knight, a resident of the parish. It's understood that Knight, who was visiting the premises occupied by her partner, was found on the floor near a doorway in the kitchen. The police were called and found what appears to be blood on Knight's mouth. There were no visible marks of violence on her body. The lawmen are awaiting a post-mortem to determine the cause of her death. Nurse Knight worked at the Manchester Infirmary as a patient care assistant. Mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, says counseling will be offered to the staff.
I've learned of the death of a member of my staff from the Manchester Infirmary, one of our PCAs, and I've spoken to the police. They are not suspecting any foul play at this time, but they are doing their investigations, and I've asked them to do a thorough investigations as to the circumstances of her death. But at this time, I just want to pay my condolences to her mother, children, and other siblings, and to the members of staff at the infirmary. We are now going to be bringing in some counseling for them on Monday.
Donovan Mitchell, a mayor of Mandeville. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, has seized 459 illegal firearms since the start of the year. Prime Minister and JLP leader Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement at a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday.
As of today, we have seized 459 guns compared to last year when we seized 377. The government has made significant investment in improving the capabilities of our security forces and Jamaica Customs to find the illegal guns coming into the country.
In late May, the JCF made one of the largest single seizures of gun and ammunition in the country's history. The lawmen seized 233 firearms, along with over 50,000 rounds of ammunition. Dr. Holness is urging criminals to surrender their illegal guns and pursue meaningful, lawful employment.
I want to use this platform to say to anyone who is involved in gangs and criminal activity, change your ways. Find something else to do. If you were in it, figure out an exit plan. Transition out of it. Put on them things there. Bury the gun. Or better yet, turn it in.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Several persons are now in custody following a major operation on the weekend in St. James to crack down on lottery scamming. The operation also led to the seizure of over $20 million. Commanding officer for the Area 1 Division, Assistant Commissioner of Police Glenford Miller, told Nationwide News that the operation was conducted over the course of several days.
The Lottery Scamming Task Force, along with the Area 1 team, MOCA, and the Financial Investigation Division have been launching a series of operations for the past. Today is the third day of it within St. James Division. Over these 3 days of operation, over $20 million has been seized. Several high-end motor vehicles. Some persons would have also been taken into custody in relation to offences in relation to the Lottery Scamming Act, also offence in relation to breaches or trespassing and works of the JPS, and also persons or other business persons, some business persons investigated in relation to financial crimes.
On Thursday, June 5, 2 individuals were arrested and charged following 6 coordinated raids in the Bogue and West Village housing schemes in Montego Bay. They are 30-year-old Dane Gilling, a businessman from Bogue Village, and 23-year-old Darian Miller of the West Village housing scheme. Gilling has been charged with possession of identity information, while Miller is charged with possession of an access device. ACP Miller acknowledged that the masterminds involved in lottery scamming are adjusting their tactics, but he warned that the police have the capacity to fine-tune their operation so that criminals can be brought to justice.
It is our intention to actually get rid of scamming out of Area 1, which we have seen is actually causing some amount of crime, shooting, murders, gang-related activities within Area 1, and a lot of it is stemming from these scamming activities. So it is our intention to see how best we can get rid of scamming or try to minimize it to the fullest. We have where they have actually been emerging with new ways of scamming, and one thing on these lottery scammers, I don't know, but they are with where technology is concerned. But I want them to know the Jamaica Constabulary Force is we are transforming.
Assistant Commissioner Glenford Miller, commanding officer for the Area 1 Police Division. Meanwhile, ACP Miller is encouraging residents who know the major players behind lottery scams to come forward and share the information with the police.
Persons who believe that the big men, the so-called big men, we're not getting to them. I will implore persons, come and speak to us. Let us know them, because sometimes I don't want person to believe that we know them. You might know them and we don't. So please, let us know them also. And we will do what the police do, bring them to justice.
Assistant Commissioner Glenford Miller, commanding officer for the Area 1 Police Division. The St. Catherine North Police is reporting that there has been a positive response to its call for persons of interest in a shooting incident in the parish on Friday to turn themselves in. On Saturday, a number of men were asked to report to the Spanish Town Police Station following a shooting incident on Friday, June 6 in the Taylor Lane area of Gordon Penn, Spanish Town. The incident left one man dead and another seriously injured. Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson is divisional commander.
Yes, his name is Jalen. He turned himself in. The one who goes by the name Haitian, he was picked up by the police, and I was told as another one by the name of Shane. He should be turning himself in any moment now, based on some communication that was made. I need to confirm that one though, the last one.
The senior superintendent highlighted the support of the public and the professionalism of the JCF as factors behind the progress in bringing the persons of interest to justice.
Well, the general appeal of the JCF, and I think the professionalization, because persons understand for the most part that we are here to interview them. Our aim is to try and solve crime, and we want to bring closure in a timely manner. So I think the general public is working with the police, understanding that we have a job to do, and that we will protect their rights as much as possible to ensure that we bring closure to any matter that is being investigated at this time. But I think it's an increase in the trust that the public has for the police at this time.
Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, head of the St. Catherine North Police Division. Meanwhile, Superintendent Nicholson said now that murders have declined by over 30% in the division, her plan is to continue the partnership with citizens to maintain relative peace.
Well, the division is not bad. We're at about a 35% reduction in murders compared to last year at this time, and the general Spanish Town area is not bad. We are working with general citizenry to ensure that not just crime, but the fear of crime continue to reduce, and so that people can go about their lawful businesses and live peacefully. But so far, I think the general citizenry is very appreciative. They are very appreciative of the efforts of the police, and we will continue to work together.
Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, head of the St. Catherine North Police Division. PNP President Mark Golding is renewing his call for Dennis Chung to step down from his position as the Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. He repeated the call at a PNP rally in Northwest St. Anne on Sunday.
I say to Dennis Chung himself, who is somebody I've known for many years, step back from it, Dennis. Clear the air and let the Financial Investigations Division be led by somebody who does not have those issues to deal with. Because you are not the right person at this time. You are not fit and proper to lead that agency, given the clear bias that you have showed in relation to the major issue that it has tasked to deal with, and also the fact that your qualifications are not suitable to hold that position.
The opposition PNP has been critical of Chung's appointment to the FID since it was first announced 2 weeks ago. The party claims that the chartered accountant is compromised and not qualified for the job. Golding says that the party will continue to oppose his appointment.
We will continue to resist it, and I continue to call on all well-thinking Jamaicans to stand up and let their voices be heard, that this cannot go forward.
Mark Golding, PNP President. Member of Parliament for West Portland, Darrell Vaz, is accusing the PNP of being politically coward, slamming its members for abandoning constituencies and seeking safe seats after each electoral defeat. The veteran MP named Dr. Dayton Campbell, Senator Peter Bunting, and Senator Damon Crawford, among others.
Others who say they are for the people have run around Jamaica looking for a safe seat. Let us start with the General Secretary of the other party. Win in St. Anne where he born and grow. Get one beaten and gone to Westmoreland. The former General Secretary, Peter Bunting, win 2 times in Central Manchester. Get one beaten and step across the border to South Manchester. Damien Crawford, leave from East Rural St. Andrew, go to Portland. Him end up now, gone to St. Catherine. Ian Hayes, leave from Hanover, gone to seek refuge in Westmoreland. Trisha Duncan from Clarendon to St. Andrew.
MP Vaz was speaking at a JLP meeting in South Trelawney over the weekend. South Trelawney is represented by the JLP's Marissa Dalrymple-Philibert. She was re-elected as MP following a by-election in November last year after retiring from the post in September 2023. MP Vaz told Labourites that unlike the PNP, politicians like himself and Mrs. Dalrymple-Philibert remain rooted in their respective constituencies no matter the cost.
You know the difference between them and Marissa Dalrymple and Darrell Vaz, who have won consistently in one seat? It is very simple. Serve the people and they will serve you. Self-interest. Everybody looking for a safe seat and not looking about the people. Tom drunk, but Tom no fool.
Darrell Vaz, MP for West Portland. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Be in the know. Learn how local government is working for you. Follow us on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA and on Facebook at Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. The time by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development is
6:19.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
In regional and international news this morning, regional news, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves is urging both Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela to exercise restraint and resolve their differences peacefully and in line with international law. He's warning against inflaming the situation with strong language. Tensions between TNT and Venezuela escalated last week after Venezuelan Justice Minister Diosdado Cabello alleged that a Trinidadian had been captured en route to Venezuela with a group of so-called terrorists in an attempt to destabilize their government. Senior police officials in Trinidad have since confirmed that the person named by Cabello had not appeared in any criminal database. During last Thursday's post-cabinet meeting, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Besessa added to the issue, warning Venezuela that TNT was off limits. International, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom says the deployment of National Guard troops in Los Angeles is unlawful. The troops were deployed on Sunday to help quell a third day of protests over President Donald Trump's immigration enforcement. Los Angeles police officers told a news briefing that police were making more arrests after at least 10 on Sunday and 29 the previous night. National Guard troops guarded federal government buildings as police and protesters clashed in separate demonstrations over federal immigration raids. Los Angeles police declared several rallies to be unlawful assemblies, accusing some protesters of throwing concrete projectiles, bottles, and other items at the lawmen. Governor Newsom said he requested that the Trump administration withdraw its order to deploy 2,000 National Guard troops. In an interview with MSNBC, Newsom said he planned to sue the administration over the deployment. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Taste it, eat it, drink it, applaud it. The 26th staging of the Jamaica Observer Table Talk Food Awards, the Caribbean's premier culinary event, powered by MasterCard, takes place Thursday, June 26th on the East Lawns of King's House. Get your tickets at Starbucks at AC Marriott, Starbucks Ligny, Starbucks Waterloo, Signature Boutique, Unit 9, Legal Business Centre, 31 Upper Waterloo Road, Uncorked 2, Constant Spring Road, Uncorked Barbican, Sovereign North, Uncorked Ochi, Draxhall, Uncorked West, Fairview Shopping Centre, Resort Way by Ereline, Shop 4 Progressive Shopping Centre, Kingston, Cafe Dolce, 114 Constant Spring Road, Kingston, Fromage Bistro, 8 Hillcrest Avenue, Kingston, and of course the offices of the Jamaica Observer in Kingston and Montego Bay. Adults 18 years and over. Drink responsibly.
The loan frenzy is on with Infinity Co-op Credit Unions. Fund your possibilities loan promotion with zero to low processing fees, up to 240 months to repay, and competitive interest rates. You can borrow using a secured or unsecured loan to fund your dreams. Dream it, fund it, live it with Infinity, where possibilities are endless. Visit infinitycuja.com or call 876-926-6973 for more details. Conditions apply.
Time now for your morning sports. South Africa A will resume on 44-2 on day 2 of the second 4-day match against West Indies A at the Darren Sammy Stadium in St. Lucia. Lesego Senokwen 23 and Jordan Herman 18 are the batsmen back in the pavilion. The Caribbean side were bowled out for 220 in their first innings. Alec Athenaeus made 65 and Justin Greaves 57. Rwanda Swart took 4 for 62 and Okule Sele 3 for 52. Sri Lanka emerging players with a lead of 219 will resume on 141 for 5 on day 3 of their second innings of the 4-day match against West Indies Academy. Janishka Pereira 13 and Dhananjaya Lakshan, who is yet to get off the mark, are the not-out batsmen. The Academy men were bowled out for 214 in their first innings. Scores in the match so far: Sri Lanka emerging players 292 and 141 for 5, West Indies Academy 214. Portugal's national senior men's team became the winner of the UEFA Nations League, defeating Spain in the tournament final 5-3 on penalties at the Arena Munich Stadium in Germany on Sunday. The match ended with a score of 2-2 after the regular and extra time. The Portuguese national team became the first in the tournament's history to win the championship title twice. Before that, the Portuguese won the tournament in its first edition in 2019. Finally, in your morning sports, defending champion Carlos Alcaraz recovered from 2 sets down, saving 3 championship points on the way to beat Jannik Sinner in an incredible French Open men's singles final. Alcaraz's reign on the Roland Garros clay looked to be over when world number 1 Sinner closed in on victory at 5-3 in the 4th set. But the 22-year-old Spaniard showed extraordinary fight to win 4-6, 6-7, 6-4, 7-6, 7-6 after 5 hours and 29 minutes, the longest French Open final in history. Alcaraz is only the 3rd man to win a major final after saving a championship point since the Open era began in 1968. It was a 5th major triumph for Alcaraz, who has now shared the sport's past 6 major titles with Italy's world number 1 Sinner. Sunday's blockbuster, which broke the record for the longest French Open final in history, was the first Grand Slam men's final to feature 2 players born in the 2000s. And that's it for your morning sports.
Looking for a partner on your financial journey? Look no further. JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union Limited offers attractive loan specials and easy savings plans. Plus, becoming a member is simple. If you're over the age of 16 and want to join a credit union that truly cares about your financial wellness, you may be eligible for membership. Conditions apply. Call or visit us at www.jpscu.com to find out more and start building your future today. JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union Limited, your financial partner for life.
In business this morning, a new round of talks aimed at resolving the trade war between the U.S. and China are set to take place in London on Monday. A senior U.S. delegation, including Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, will meet with the Chinese representatives, such as Vice Premier He Lifeng, to resolve tensions between the world's 2 largest economies, which is threatening global growth. Chinese exports of rare earths, which are crucial for modern technology, as well as Beijing's access to U.S. products, including computer chips, are expected to be high on the agenda. Last month, Washington and Beijing agreed a temporary truce over trade tariffs, but each country has since accused the other of breaching the deal. The new round of negotiations follows a phone call between Donald Trump and China's leader Xi Jinping last week, which the U.S. president described as a very good talk. Trump said the call, the first between the two leaders since the trade war erupted in February, resulted in a very positive conclusion for both countries. Now, the row between U.S. President Donald Trump and billionaire Elon Musk over a major spending bill has exacerbated uncertainty over the future of NASA's budget, which was already facing deep cuts. The White House had requested huge cuts to the space agency's budget, which would see funding for science projects cut by nearly a half. Now the president has threatened to withdraw federal contracts with Musk's company SpaceX, further jeopardizing the U.S. space program. NASA relies on the firm's Falcon 9 rocket fleet to resupply the International Space Station with crew and supplies. The space agency also expects to use its Starship rocket to send astronauts to the moon and eventually to Mars once it has been developed. Dr. Simeon Barba, a space scientist at the Open University, said that the uncertainty was having a chilling impact on the human space program. And in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading today, selling for an average $160.33 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican dollar will open trading, selling for an average $119.23 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican will open trading, selling for an average $217.47 against the British pound. And that's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:31.
Yes, me get the last cheese. Tasty beat. Brothers and sisters, at the end of Easter service, we have cheese. Tasty beat. Bon, les vrais get the bun and cheese. Tasty beat. Serve, sell me some bun and cheese. Tasty beat. Wow, this looking nice with some tasty cheese. Tasty beat. Could I have some cheese, please? Tasty beat. Make we get on real bad with the tasty cheese, boy. Tasty beat with tasty cheese.
This Father's Day, escape to the Pamper Temple for ultimate relaxation. Adam and Eve Day Spa. All treatments are infused to melt your tension and remove stress. Pamper Dad with a massage, facial, body treatment, and mani-pedi. Unwind at Adam and Eve and enjoy complimentary Pure Country juices and Johnny Walker. But now at www.adamandevedayspaja.com. Purchase gift certificates. Call 876-754-6017 or WhatsApp 876-567-2142 for details.
Have you ever been to a store and felt right at home? The minute you entered, you knew that's where you were meant to be. Picture it. The dedicated One staff greet you with a smile, show exceptional professionalism, and still make you feel like family. Everything is catered to you. You know you're getting the best, because to them, you're the best. That's the new Walters Pharmacy, 18 High Street, Black River. Call 965-2264 or 476-3939. The new Walters Pharmacy. Pharmacy, everything exceptional.
My people in the East, yo, you gotta wake up. Midwest, dirty South, yo, you gotta stand up. All my homies in the West, yo, you gotta wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up.
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backwards thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There's so much hatred, war and poverty. Wake up, all teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. 'Cause they're the ones who's coming up. The world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the best you can.
Spring peace, do we mean it? Can you feel it when we scream it out loud? Do you believe that we need it? Do you believe that it can get right? Do you believe that the children of the world deserve a good life? Well, if you do, it's time to wake up your mind. We can make it better, and I know it might take some time, but we gotta start somewhere. How about with you and me? From us it goes to others, then we'll have our unity.
All the doctors make the old people well. They're the ones who suffer, who catch all the hell. But they don't have so very long before the judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away?
Wake up all the builders, time to build a new land. I know we can do it, long as we lend a hand. The only thing we have to do is put it in our minds. And surely things will work out, 'cause they do it all the time.
I ain't here to take up y'all time. I came to shake up y'all mind. It's everybody's wake up call time. I can't sleep too long. Why they do the people wrong? Let's clean the world up before they sweep you gone. This is real talk, you can peek through songs. So when you feel weak, these words will keep you strong and help make a change for the better. It's hard for one to do it, but we can make some changes together.
A very good morning to you. Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning, the big show. Thank you so much for coming on over and joining us for NTM. If you're joining us from the YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. If you're joining us from radio, joining us from the app, or joining us from the website, happy to have all of you listening to NTM this morning. It is a beautiful Monday morning here in Kingston City. It is Monday, June 9, 2025, and I'm Tawna Thomas.
I'm Sondre Roden. Yes, this is not my day. You know, I'm more a Friday person, Tawna, but here I am.
Happy to have you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, you know, I'm not as tired. I got up really early this morning. I don't even know why. I think something is going on with my bed. I need to check if water is in it. Because why am I up early on a Monday morning? Yeah, man, I was up. Not as early as you. I know it's definitely not as early as you, but I was up early. Yeah.
Yeah, good morning to you, Paul Peart, Faith Fabulous. Good morning as well to Marigold Weber, Janesta Johnson, William Magnus, Josephine, Albert Morgan, all of you in the YouTube chat. Good morning to you. And for those of you asking about George will be back tomorrow. Don't worry, George will be back tomorrow. But what's on your mind this morning?
Well, a lot of things are on my mind. Because we are in that season where I think both political parties have turned up the ante. You know, on the weekend we would have had a lot of things happening from the People's National Party. The opposition, as usual, they're having a lot of meetings across the island, different persons, whether it is in St. Thomas, wherever they have these meetings, they're happening, and, you know, they have their flyers out there. The government as well, they have their meetings, probably not as prevalent across the space, but they've been having them, especially over this weekend. We saw a couple. But what I heard over the weekend were two very important things that I want to bring to the fore. And I've heard a conversation from the police commissioner, Dr. Kevin Blake.
Yes.
And he would have been speaking about intelligence driven operations and how the police have basically hugged intelligence and used it as a means of crime reduction. Another thing I heard from the Prime Minister was this conversation about crimes are going down, but how do we really achieve peace? Now, the numbers don't lie, Tana, and the numbers are going down based on what we've always reported on. I won't accept, I'm going to say this plain and straight, Tana, I won't accept anybody in the public sphere that their main criticism is to question the numbers. I'm starting there because over time we've realized that there's this new trend to question numbers, but people weren't questioning numbers before, and those question marks bring further question marks and speak to the integrity of those persons who question the numbers. Now, we've been hearing some very good reports from police officers in different divisions. Not all divisions are, doing as well as St. James, as some may say, who only had one murder in the month of May. But before we get too comfortable, we have to ask the question that the Prime Minister would have asked and placed at the conference recently held. What about violence? Violence is a major part of this whole look at crime, because crime a lot of the times would have stemmed from violence. And when crime happens, then that's when we start seeing the numbers. But then root causes exist. And yes, we've heard politicians over the years from both sides, all sides, every side. We've heard civil society, we've heard individuals in churches, etc., being called in to say, we need to solve the root problem. Well, that's what was on the Prime Minister's mind last evening. There's violence in our homes, violence in our schools, violence on our tongues, violence on our roads, and God so help us, violence in some of our hearts as well. So as we celebrate the crime reduction, remember this: every time you cuss out a taxi man, every time, as a parent, the first thing you turn to is to go for the beating stick or the belt. The first thing you turn to, you have the conversation, but you're gone for the belt. Every time a response in a disagreement leads to an argument and threats about life and ending life, you realize that we're grooming a culture of violence that, hear what, no police strategy can fix that. That's a fact. No police strategy can fix that. So if fewer people are dying from crime, the number is 40-something% now. Right? If fewer people are dying from crime, that means the statistics are good. That means success is being seen in strategies for crime reduction. Now, the next thing we need to look at is, what would it look like to have a national violence prevention campaign? I remember, Tana, that the Minister of Justice would have been on our program last year, and he would have spoken about, just not being able to actively use up all the funds that the Ministry of Justice would have gotten. And I'm saying, in a time like this, when you look at crime going down, we need to have that partnership between justice, education, etc., to look at how we prevent violence, not just treat with violence as is, but prevent it, meaning going in our schools, whether it's high school, primary school, at that level where the fights happen, and from time to time we see them pop up on social media in a video where, this person is beating that person, and then there's an outcry. But then what are we doing about violence? We need to come together and teach in our schools, at the basic level, at the primary level, at the high school level, university level, and then in our homes as well, simple things like conflict resolution, emotional regulation, and empathy, because those things lead to better society, better interactions, better involvement overall. And I'm not talking about one-off workshops. Yes, we've seen that, but not talking about ad on TV. No, I'm talking about a working system where we look at how violence prevention is embedded in our education system for the generation to come. So when we applaud the police and the policymakers for their role in crime reduction, we have to realize as a nation that we have to coalesce around this idea of violence prevention. So we work together from a policy level. As I said, Ministry of Justice, Education, National Security, working on that. But from a personal level, thinking about how we interact with our fellow man, how you interact with your family, how you interact with the people you want to cross off on the road or bad drive you, how you interact with people in schools, at work, etc. And when we look at how we limit violence, prevent violence, we can see sustained results in crime reduction and a better society to actually achieve peace. And that's what's on my mind.
I see Kick Rocks here on the YouTube chat saying, learning to walk away, expressing yourself, yes, but keep your hands in your pockets. And Desnem saying the home should take center stage in relation to violence prevention. And that violence prevention that you're talking about in our schools, Sandre, I don't know what the guidance counseling curriculum entails in our high schools now, and if that is something that is also done at the primary level in our education system, but perhaps that is the place to start. Teaching that sort of conflict resolution, friendly, talk it out, not fight it out. I know that over time you've had the education ministry doing that sort of campaign in our schools. But as you said, to get it into the system, not a one-off campaign or a one-off ad for a period of time that you have, to have it in the system where annually when you come into school, this is a subject area that you do. This is part of your curriculum. You're going to have this timetabled into your schedule. That perhaps the guidance counseling sessions that are done weekly in our schools, this is a place for it.
I totally agree with that, Tana.
Yeah.
It's This Morning on Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 6:46. 6:46.
JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union offers financial solutions for every stage in your life: savings, auto loans, mortgages, and more. The temperature by JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is...
It's 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 26 degrees Celsius out west in Montego Bay, and 22 degrees Celsius in the cool hills of Mandeville.
Yo, genius! Me just get the Burger King Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Junior with cheese. Well, 2 sandwiches in up. Plus a small fries and soda for only $1,300.
You use the new rubber money. You did say the money can stretch a Burger King.
Me mean you get more food for your money. One combo, 2 sandwiches.
So you want I gotta eat all of 2 sandwich, brother? My belly can stretch, you know.
Get the BK Double King combo. Limited time only at Burger King.
Taxi drivers, ready to start earning more money? Join Amber On Time, Jamaica's taxi app built just for you. 0 commission in the first month, no catch. Plus get a free vehicle tracker to protect you and your ride. Stolen vehicle recovery and panic alarm response included. Download the Amber Captain app today and start driving. Or roll through to our office at 30 West Minister Road, Kingston, and sign up on the spot. So whether you're the Kingston, Mobay, Ochi, or anywhere else, work there. Come take advantage.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
When you hear those horns, you know what time it is. It's time for Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning time, Sandre. Morning time, Tana.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Right, to the listeners, the motoring public, everyone tuned in at this time. Well, a few minutes ago it was looking hazy. It's now bright and sunny, but clouds, lots of clouds above. Lots of, clouds of varying description, but it's Well, it's bright now, I would say. All right, but the situation, let's have to talk with St. Catherine. If you're in that St. Catherine area along Old Harbour Road, you're coming from the different schemes in Old Harbour, you're making it onto Old Harbour Road, and this is eastbound, heading towards that, the major one there, that Spanish Town bypass. It's slow moving at the roundabout, and then when you get onto the bypass, it's moving all the way towards the other roundabout there in the vicinity of Jose Marti, then onto the Mandela Highway. So it's steady. So you won't have any delays yet, but it's a steady flow. And remember now, if you're coming off that North-South Highway, Edward Seago Highway, it's pretty good movement. And when you get further along the Mandela, towards 6 miles, it's also moving. But as you get to 6 miles towards Washington Boulevard, it's also good movement, yes, but you'll remember the intersection, Boulevard Moline and Boulevard Doheny Drive, Boulevard Kennel Drive, and Boulevard Moline. Those are the areas that you'll have a little build-up. But then when you make it onto Moline Road, it's all steady going all the way up past Seaward Drive, Walton Park Road, and when you get to Harper Tree, that's where you're going to have some build-up. So Harper Tree is building, because remember, Constant Spring Road carries a lot of traffic, especially heading southbound past Harper Tree. It's our first report until 7:18, 7:20. It's back to you, Sondre.
Thank you so much. That lets us know time for our word of the day.
Word of the day. Your word of the day is spelled Carillon, spelled Carillon.
Carillon. Carillon. Carillon.
Carillon is your word of the day. Carillon, it's a noun and it means a set of stationary bells hung in a tower and sounded by manual or pedal action or by machinery. A set of stationary bells hung in a tower and sounded by manual or pedal action or by machinery. Another definition for carillon, a set of horizontal metal plates struck by hammers used in the modern orchestra. Carillon is your word of the day, spelled Carillon. Dictionary.com telling us that the word was first recorded between 1765 and 1775. And to use carillon in a sentence, at noon on Tuesday, some church bells and carillons in the Netherlands didn't sound like they usually do. At noon on Tuesday, some church bells and carillons in the Netherlands. Jeremy can find a picture of carillon, Carillon. Some church bells and carillons in the Netherlands didn't sound like they usually do. Another sentence for you. Artists can take over and play billboards and the chapel playing a carillon. So the second definition, I think, matches this sentence, a set of horizontal metal plates struck by hammers used in the modern orchestra. So for folks over on the YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM Live 2, Jeremy is trying to find for us this morning a picture of our word of the day, Carillon, carillon, a noun meaning a set of stationary bells hung in a tower and sounded by manual or pedal action or by machinery. I'm assuming that our older churches here in country may have a carillon installed somewhere.
Yeah.
So you'd have somebody that goes in wherever the bells or the carillon is installed and use a pedal action, maybe some kind of foot action or something to have the bells tolling. There you go. So that's what we believe a carillon looks like.
Well, that's a carillon, Mr. King.
Yeah, that is what Google is telling us a carillon looks like.
Yeah.
But up next, our features at the top of the hour, the news.
Living Well is brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
on Living Well, the frightening world of food fillers. Have you ever wondered what is in what you eat? Unfortunately, many of you never give it a second thought. Food is supposed to be what is grown naturally, and animals that are raised naturally, just as nature intended it. Guess what though? Food is not food anymore. The cost of food is lower than it has ever been before. Food fillers are lowering the cost of meat. A cheeseburger today costs less than produce. What are food fillers? Fillers help to bulk up the weight of food, thereby making the food cheaper. Most fillers are found in processed meat. Meat fillers can lower the cost of meat by about 10 to 30%, and labeling is also most times a fabrication. For example, 100% ground beef, which has filler, costs about $3 per pound. Organic ground beef costs about $4.25 per pound. So while putting in the food fillers may sound good, they're costing you a lot with regards to your health and nutrition. Let's start with cellulose. It's a natural component found in many plants and is used in the production of paper. Much of the cellulose found in food is derived from wood pulp. It is used in cereals, shredded cheese, salad dressing, and ice cream. People cannot digest cellulose. Adding it to food makes for a non-fat, low-calorie filler. Cellulose is found in many high-fiber snacks, and eating organic won't help you avoid it. You can recognize cellulose when you see these names on the labels of packaged foods: microcrystalline cellulose, cellulose gel, cellulose gum, or carboxymethyl cellulose. Don't eat it. Soy. Yes, soy. Everyone's favorite food these days. It's everywhere. Did you know that soy causes the overproduction of estrogen in women and in men? Soy derivatives can be found filling a variety of foods, from frozen yogurt to ground beef. Soy is found in about 60% of the foods found on the supermarket shelves. In ground meats, soy acts as a cheap filler, lowering both price and nutritional quality of the meat. Soy contains high levels of phytic acid, an anti-nutrient that steals and eliminates important vitamins and minerals from the body. Next is Olestra. This is a fat substitute synthesized by Procter & Gamble. The human body cannot digest the big molecules it is made of, so it contributes 0 calories when it is consumed. Introduced in the late 90s by Frito-Lay and included in fat-free Pringles, products containing Olestra were originally required to warn customers of the risk of loose stools. Within 4 years of introduction, 15,000 people had called a hotline set up specifically to take adverse reaction complaints. In 2003, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration removed the warning label requirement. Read between the lines. Olestra interferes with the body's absorption of critical nutrients such as beta-carotene and lycopene. Next is potassium bromate. It helps bread to rise quickly and puff up during baking. Bread dough is bound together by gluten molecules, which require oxidation. Potassium bromate speeds up the oxidation process considerably and makes the bread fluffy, soft, and unnaturally white. In 1982, Japanese researchers published the first study linking potassium bromate to thyroid and kidney cancer in mice. If undercooked, the amount in the end product can be much higher than recommended. The likelihood of ingesting potassium bromate is increased by eating fast food. Potassium bromate is illegal in some of these and other countries: China, Canada, Brazil. It is legal in the United States. Educate yourself on what you are eating, and remember, go back to the old ways, for in them is life. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for a powerful natural alternative, oil of oregano.
Living Well was brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Picture this. You're waiting in line to buy tickets and you want to do something to pass the time. So what do? Some would choose to go on their phone while others would try to strike up a conversation. But what is proper etiquette while you're waiting in a long line? I'm Tana, and the Lifestyle Pages starts now. Here are some basic rules for chatting with people while waiting in a line.
Don't give out personal information if you've never seen him or her before. Don't get into a political discussion. It's dangerous to open this up if you don't know the person's affiliation or the level of passion. Be cautious about discussing religious views. While it's okay to mention the church you attend, if it naturally flows in the conversation, don't make judgmental comments about others. Don't call a stranger by an intimate name. It might be normal for you to address everyone as dear, sweetie, or darling, but it might make someone who isn't used to it feel uncomfortable. I'm Tana, and those were your lifestyle pages.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is...
News time at 7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore. Kingston Normal Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
26 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 27 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 23 degrees Celsius.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 for this morning, Monday, June 9, 2025. 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon to be laid to rest today, a month after being raped and strangled at her home in Spanish Town. JCF reports seizing 459 illegal guns since the start of the year. PNP president renews his call for Dennis Chung to step down from the FID. And in international news, California governor calls Trump National Guard deployment in Los Angeles unlawful. The details after the break.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
With the details, I'm Tana Thomas. The Thanksgiving service for 9-year-old Kelsey Farragon is set for today, Monday, June 9, starting at 11 a.m. It will be held at Spanish Town Seventh-day Adventist Church, located at 7 Brunswick Avenue, Spanish Town, St. Catherine. Kelsey's partially naked body was discovered stuffed in a barrel at her home in the parish on May 9. She had been raped and strangled. Her alleged killer, Giovanni Ellis, was shot dead in a reported confrontation with the police 3 days later on May 12. It's understood the police seized an illegal firearm in the confrontation. Ellis, otherwise called Cooliman, was said to be a repeat offender who was out on bail at the time. Young Kelsey was a grade 4 student at St. John's Primary School on the outskirts of the old capital. Kelsey's class teacher, Candice Coburn, described her as a model student and a true scholar.
Kelsey, all the positive words you could think of. She's a leader. I appointed her to be the group leader for our group. She's always someone who you would come to find a solution to try and fix a problem that's happening in the class. Kelsey was so quiet. She was so quiet. She didn't shout. She's kind. She would normally walk around and check on the other students. If someone is not eating, that's Kelsey. She's going to come and tell me, and she's going to say, Miss Coburn, this boy is not eating. He said this or he said that. I don't know if he spent off the lunch money, but that's what he said. And you know, she would share her lunch with the person.
Candice Coburn, Kelsey's class teacher. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is reporting substantial gains in its mission to rescue Jamaica's most vulnerable children who are forced to live and work on the streets. The project is being done through its Street and Working Children Initiative, which was launched in June last year. Chief Executive Officer of the CPFSA, Lord Adams Thomas, says that the program is already making a noticeable difference in the targeted communities.
We are seeing fewer children on the streets in areas where they were once frequent. That is a direct result of the strong partnerships and consistent engagement with families and community members. This is not just about removing children from harm, but about empowering their families and communities to keep them safe in school and thriving.
The Street and Working Children program was rolled out in 8 high-priority communities across the island. The communities are Yalis in St. Thomas, Majestic Gardens in Kingston, Old Harbour in St. Catherine, Rocky Point in Clarendon, Port Maria in St. Mary, Retirement in St. James, as well as Parrytown and Oterias in St. Anne. The project is a direct response to findings from a 2020 study commissioned by the CPFSA, which revealed that children as young as 5 years old were actively engaged in street hustling and vending. The study identified over 300 children who were living and or working on the streets across 9 parishes. It says these children were often exposed to exploitation, abuse, and limited access to education, stemming primarily from poverty, family breakdown, and systemic neglect. Mrs. Adams Thomas says the program has reached 170 children who've since been reintegrated into the formal school system.
With just the completion of phase 1, we now have 170 children less on the streets. 170 children who have been redirected from a perilous path. 170 children who will not be coming into state care.
Lord Adams Thomas, CEO of the CPFSA. The police are probing the death of a nurse whose body was found face down at an apartment in Hillside, Knockpatrick, Manchester on Saturday. The woman has been identified as a 42-year-old Navanor Knight, a resident of the parish. It's understood that Knight, who was visiting the premises occupied by her partner, was found on the floor near a doorway in the kitchen. The police were called and found what appears to be blood on Knight's mouth. There were no visible marks of violence on her body. The lawmen are awaiting a post-mortem to determine the cause of her death. Nurse Knight worked at the Manchester Infirmary as a patient care assistant. Mayor of Mandeville, Donovan Mitchell, says counseling will be offered to the staff.
I've learned of the death of a member of my staff from the Manchester Infirmary, one of our PTAs, and I've spoken to the police. They are not suspecting any foul play at this time, but they are doing their investigations, and I've asked them to do a thorough investigations as to the circumstances of her death. But at this time, I just want to pay my condolences to her mother, children, and other siblings, and to the members of staff at the infirmary. We are now going to be bringing in some counseling for them on Monday.
Donovan Mitchell, Mayor of Mandeville. The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, has seized 459 illegal firearms since the start of the year. Prime Minister and JLP leader Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement at a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday.
As of today, we have seized 459 guns compared to last year when we seized 377. The government has made significant investment in improving the capabilities of our security forces and Jamaica Customs to find the illegal guns coming into the country.
In late May, the JCF made one of the largest single seizures of gun and ammunition in the country's history. The lawmen seized 233 firearms, along with over 50,000 rounds of ammunition. Dr. Holness is urging criminals to surrender their illegal firearms and pursue meaningful, lawful employment.
I want to use this platform to say to anyone who is involved in gangs and criminal activity, change your ways. Find something else to do. If you were in it, figure out an exit plan. Transition out of it. Put on them things there. Bury the gun. Or better yet, turn it in.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Several persons are now in custody following a major operation on the weekend in St. James to crack down on lottery scamming. The operation led to the seizure of several high-end motor vehicles and over $20 million. Commanding officer for the Area 1 Division, Assistant Commissioner of Police Glenford Miller, told Nationwide News that the operation was conducted over the course of several days.
The Lottery Scamming Task Force, along with the Era 1 team, MOCA, and the Financial Investigation Division have been launching a series of operations for the past. Today is the third day of it within St. James Division. Over these 3 days of operation, over $20 million has been seized. Several high-end motor vehicles. Some persons would have also been taken into custody in relation to offences in relation to the Lottery Scamming Act, also offence in relation to breaches or trespassing on works of the JPS, and also persons or other business persons, some business persons investigated in relation to financial crimes.
2 individuals were arrested and charged following 6 coordinated raids in the Bogue and West Village housing schemes in Montego Bay last Thursday. They are 30-year-old O'Dane Gilling, a businessman from Bogue Village, and 23-year-old Darian Miller of the West Village housing scheme. Gilling has been charged with possession of identity information, while Miller is charged with possession of an access device. ACP Miller says scamming has fueled other types of crimes.
It is our intention to actually get rid of scamming out of Era 1, which we have seen is actually causing some amount of crime, shooting, murders, gang-related activities within Era 1, and a lot of it is stemming from these scamming activities. So it is our intention to see how best we can get rid of scamming or try to minimize it to the fullest. We have where they have actually been emerging with new ways of scamming, and one thing on these lottery scammers, I don't know, but they are with where technology is concerned. But I want them to know the Jamaica Constabulary Force is we are transforming.
Assistant Commissioner Glenford Miller, commanding officer for the Area 1 Police Division. Meanwhile, ACP Miller is encouraging residents who know the major players behind lottery scams to tell the police what they know.
Persons who believe that the big men, the so-called big men, we're not getting to them. I will implore persons, come and speak to us. Let us know them, because sometimes I don't want person to believe that we know them. You might know them and we don't. So please, let us know them also. And we will do what the police do, bring them to justice.
Assistant Commissioner Glenford Miller, commanding officer for the Area 1 Police Division. The St. Catherine North Police is reporting that there has been a positive response to its call for persons of interest in a shooting incident in the parish on Friday to turn themselves in. On Saturday, a number of men were asked to report to the Spanish Town Police Station following a shooting in the Taylor Lane area of Gordon Pen. The incident left one man dead and another seriously injured. Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson is the divisional commander.
Yes, his name is Jalen. He turned himself in. The one who goes by the name Haitian, he was picked up by the police, and I was told as another one by the name of Shane. He should be turning himself in any moment now, based on some communication that was made. I need to confirm that one though, the last one.
Senior Superintendent Nicholson says that the support of the public and the professionalism of the JCF have contributed to the progress.
Well, the general appeal of the JCF, and I think the professionalization, because persons understand for the most part that we are here to interview them. Our aim is to try and solve crime, and we want to bring closure in a timely manner. So I think the general public is working with the police, understanding that we have a job to do, and that we will protect their rights as much as possible to ensure that we bring closure to any matter that is being investigated at this time. But I think it's an increase in the trust that the public has for the police at this time.
Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, head of the St. Catherine North Police Division. Meanwhile, Superintendent Nicholson said now that murders have declined by over 30% in the division, the plan is to continue the partnership with the citizens to maintain relative peace.
Well, the division is not bad. We're at about a 35% reduction in murders compared to last year at this time. And the general Spanish Town area is not bad. We are working with the general citizenry to ensure that not just crime, but the fear of crime continue to reduce, and so that people can go about their lawful businesses and live peacefully. But so far, I think the general citizenry is very appreciative. They are very appreciative of the efforts of the police, and we will continue to work together.
Senior Superintendent Hopton Nicholson, head of the St. Catherine North Police Division. PNP President Mark Golding is renewing his call for Dennis Chung to step down from his position as a Chief Technical Director of the Financial Investigations Division, FID. He repeated the call at a PNP rally in Northwest St. Anne on Sunday.
I say to Dennis Chung himself, who is somebody I've known for many years, step back from it, Dennis. Clear the air and let the Financial Investigations Division be led by somebody who does not have those issues to deal with. Because you are not the right person at this time. You are not fit and proper to lead that agency, given the clear bias that you have showed in relation to the major issue that it has tasked to deal with, and also the fact that your qualifications are not suitable to hold that position.
The opposition PNP has been critical of Chung's appointment to the FID since it was first announced 2 weeks ago. The party claims that the chartered accountant is compromised and not qualified for the job. Golding says that the party will continue to oppose his appointment.
We will continue to resist it, and I continue to call on all well-thinking Jamaicans to stand up and let their voices be heard, that this cannot go forward.
Mark Golding, PNP President. Member of Parliament for West Portland, Darrell Vaz, is accusing the PNP of being politically coward, slamming its members for abandoning constituencies and seeking safe seats after each electoral defeat. The veteran MP named Dr. Dayton Campbell, Senator Peter Bunting, and Senator Damon Crawford, among others.
Others who say they are for the people have run around Jamaica looking for a safe seat. Let us start with the General Secretary of the other party. Win in St. Anne where he born and grow. Get one beaten and gone to Westmoreland. The former General Secretary, Peter Bunting, win 2 times in Central Manchester. Get one beaten and step across the border to South Manchester. Damien Crawford, leave from East Rural St. Andrew, go to Portland. Him end up now, gone to St. Catherine. Ian Hayes, leave from Hanover, gone to seek refuge in Westmoreland. Trisha Duncan from Clarendon to St. Andrew.
MP Vaz was speaking at a JLP meeting in South Trelawney over the weekend. South Trelawney is represented by the JLP's Marissa Dalrymple Philibert. She was re-elected as MP following a by-election in November last year after retiring from the post in September 2023. MP Vaz told Labourites that unlike the PNP, politicians like himself and Mrs. Dalrymple Philibert remain rooted in their respective constituencies no matter the cost.
You know the difference between them and Marissa Dalrymple and Darrell Vaz, who have won consistently in one seat? It is very simple. Serve the people and they will serve you. Self-interest. Everybody looking for a safe seat and not looking about the people. Tom drunk, but Tom no fool.
Darrell Vaz, MP for West Portland. And in international news, California's Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom says the deployment of National Guard troops in Los Angeles is unlawful. Some 2,000 troops were deployed on Sunday to help quell a third day of protests over President Donald Trump's immigration enforcement. Los Angeles police officers told a news briefing that police are making more arrests after at least 10 on Sunday and 29 the previous night. National Guard troops guarded federal government buildings as the police and protesters clashed in separate demonstrations over federal immigration raids. The police declared several rallies to be unlawful assemblies, accusing some protesters of throwing concrete projectiles, bottles, and other items at lawmen. Governor Newsom says he has requested the Trump administration to withdraw its order to deploy the troops. In an interview with MSNBC, Newsom said he planned to sue the administration over the deployment. And that's it for the news at 7. I'm Tawna Thomas.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:18.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios,
34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5, or Lot C6, Drax Hall, St. Anne's Bay. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
28 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 26 out west in Montego Bay, and in Mandeville, 24 degrees Celsius.
From visas to green cards, the Consular Queen at Barrett Immigration is your trusted guide for all things U.S. immigration. As a premier immigration consulting firm, we help reunite families and resolve your toughest immigration issues with care, speed, and affordability. Call now at 470-593-8448. That's 470-593-8448. Barrett Immigration, where the Consular Queen helps you unite families and change lives.
Plug into the sun with Peak Energy Solutions. We are your affordable provider for everything solar. Grid tie or off-grid solar P systems, solar air conditioners, panels, lithium batteries, solar supplies, and installation. Visit us at Shop 1, 3 Mosquito Valley Road, Red Hills, St. Andrew. Call 876-279-8820 or 944-0668. Or email us at peakenergysolutionsja@gmail.com. Peak Energy for everything solar.
That time of the morning when we get our second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Hey to you, Ludlow.
Morning time again, Tana.
Morning.
To the listeners, motoring public visitors, good morning. And just to tell you that depending on where you are, there are it's a build up along Don Robin to Constant Spring Road. Constant Spring Road, as I said this morning, it has a lot of traffic heading into Alpha Tree Square. And Waterloo, traffic in Waterloo. So if you're coming from Upper Waterloo onto Waterloo, you're going to have traffic and it goes across the Trafalgar Road. Kingsway also has traffic. Hope Road, heading towards the intersection of Hope and Trafalgar and going further down towards Alpha Tree. There's also traffic there. And around Barbican Road, if you're on Grandstand Road, making it from Grandstand Road onto Shortwood Road, you also have traffic. Traffic is also coming from Arcada Drive, Rough Lights, and Bertsucker Lane, and these roads take you onto Barbican Road. So Barbican Road going all the way around to Whitcomb. There's a little bit of also there at the intersection of Whitcomb Road and Barbican Road, going around also to connect with Hope and Holyoke Road. So those areas are busy. When you go into the Papine, when the Ligony area, approaching up to the Papine area there's also traffic in Ligony. In the vicinity of the embassy, people are crossing roads, so you have to be very careful. Coming down Mona Road onto Wellington Drive, there's also traffic, but it's moving steadily onto Monroe Road and then going further along Holyoke Road. So those areas, and just not to forget that other areas of traffic, Spanish Town Road via 6 miles to 3 miles and going further down Marcus Garvey, those areas has traffic and it's slow moving, especially around Marcus Garvey Drive. So there you go. Our second report for the morning, and we urge you to be careful. And I can't stress how much your indicator is so important. And those of you using the dual carriageway, remember, you keep left. It doesn't make sense you're in that right lane and you're driving 50 or 60 kilometers. Please, it really obstructs vehicular flow. So keep left. And those of you who want to overtake your pass right, and then you keep left. So there you go. Until tomorrow morning, 6:45 a.m., it's back to you, Tona.
Thank you so much, Ludlow, for that second report of Street Smart with Ludlow McLean. Up next, our discussion segment, The Front Page.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
Back with you. It's Nationwide this morning. The Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA, is reporting substantial gains in its mission to rescue Jamaica's most vulnerable children who are forced to live and work on the streets. The project is being done through its Street and Working Children initiative, which was launched in June last year. The Street and Working Children program was rolled out in 8 high-priority communities across the island.
And these communities are Yalis in St. Thomas, Majestic Gardens in Kingston, Old Harbour in St. Catherine, Rocky Point in Clarendon, Port Murray in St. Mary, Retirement in St. James, as well as Parrytown and Oteris in St. Anne. The project is a direct response to findings from a 2020 study commissioned by the CPFSA, which revealed that children as young as 5 years old were actively engaged in street hustling and vending.
The study identified over 300 children who were living and or working on the streets across 9 parishes. It says these children were often exposed to exploitation, abuse, and limited access to education, stemming primarily from poverty, family breakdown, and systemic neglect. For more, we're joined by Director of Policy, Planning and Evaluation at the CPFSA, Newton Douglas, and CEO of MOBAC, Mobafa Baker. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to listeners.
Good having you here with us this morning. Newton, I'm starting with you. I want you to give our listeners some background on that 2020 study and basically what were the major findings from that study.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. The study identified that was conducted between 2019 and 2020, identified about 413 children who were on the street. Of that number, the project team engaged with about 373 of those children who completed the process, who were willing to engage with them, have conversations with them. That's about 90% of the overall number. There are about 63% of that number that were males and another 37% that were females. The highest proportion, though, of children on the streets, and you spoke of some of the numbers, were children who were 12 and 13-year-olds. So 12-year-olds comprised about 16%, and the 13-year-olds comprised 15%. That's the majority, 31%. And so the numbers went, and you did allude to children between 5 and 9 years old, which constituted about 10% of the constituents. Only a small proportion of those children sleep on the street. That's about 18 out of those numbers. The majority, or 94% of that number, that's 319 children, do return homes, which means that they have somewhere to go outside of after being on the street. One of the interesting things that we want to look at is that majority of the children that we engaged during that research indicated didn't want to or did not see what they do being work, but were more comfortable with the term hustling. And some would be on the street, whether it be for an entire week. A portion would be on 4 days. So it varies in terms of the number of days they would be on the street. Many of the children in the sample size that we looked at, and that would be about 72%, attend school most days. 65 of those children attend sometimes. And a smaller portion, about 9%, would attend but no longer do so, and 1% has never attended. And you could realize within the age group, the 5 to 6, you might find that there are some issues that were happening there during that period. Most of them were on the streets during the daytime. And and over a quarter of that number that we spoke with. Yes, they were selling snacks, ground provision, they were doing sweets, they were doing newspaper. A quarter of those were youngsters who were wiping the car glass, washing cars during that portion. If I just
go ahead, Newton.
Right. So I just wanted to just share quickly when we looked at issues like questions like, I work on the streets because I need the money to survive. About 57% of those children indicate that's one of the main reasons for them being on the streets. Another 10% will say I work on the streets because my parents or my guardian cannot take care of me, and so I gravitate towards that to help myself. Another 4% would be on the street because although they can find the support, their parents or guardians do not take care of them or provide the means which they would need to be on the street to prevent them from being on the streets, pardon me. And they work on the streets because they want to make some quick money. And that's about another 57% you would find that falls within the category. Now, these children will have responded to some of these very questions on more than one of these questions. So you'll find that there are more than one child. The same child will respond to some of these very questions.
And in the data as well, Newton, did you find children out there who were sent out there by their guardian?
Well, the data did indicate, in terms of 92 or about 27% of those children, they are on the streets because my parent or my guardian told me to do so. So you would find that there's a portion of them that do go on the streets because they are asked or instructed to do so by their family members.
We're going to talk about the engagement coming out of the study when we come back from the break. Speaking with Newton Douglas, Director of Policy Planning and Evaluation at the CPFSA, going to bring in as well Mubafa Baker, CEO of MOBAC, after the break, focusing on the CPFSA Street and Working Children program.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is...
It's 7:31.
Fix up with Fleetwood products for your home improvement, personal care, and aromatherapy needs. They have your well-being in mind. Available at retailers island-wide. The temperature by Fleetwood Jamaica is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
At Kia, driving your future means joining the movement that inspires. Whether it's the small but mighty Picanto hatchback or the top-of-the-line tech-rich Sorento SUV, there's a Kia that perfectly fits your lifestyle and your budget. ATL Automotive has gotten Jamaicans behind the wheels of thousands of Kias for the past 7 years. And we're ready to get you behind the wheel of a Kia too. Simply visit the nearest Kia showroom for a test drive now.
Passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores,
we're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
You want to win? Then just bet. Bet on the game, no stress, no sweat. And win big in the Wanna Bet Just Bet promotion. Spend $1,500 or more on one Just Bet ticket and complete the entry form at promotions.supremegames.com for your chance to win. Third place gets Beats by Dre. Second place gets an iPhone 15 and AirPods Pro. And first place gets a 65-inch TV and a soundbar. Promotion runs May 16 to July 20, 2025. Grand draw July 25, 2025. Authorized under Section 58. Of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Have you ever been to a store and felt right at home? The minute you entered, you knew that's where you were meant to be. Picture it. The dedicated warm staff greet you with a smile, show exceptional professionalism, and still make you feel like family. Everything is catered to you. You know you're getting the best, because to them, you're the best. That's the New Walters Pharmacy, 18 High Street, Black River. Call 965-2264 or 476-3939. The New Walters Pharmacy. Pharmacy, everything exceptional.
You're back with us. We're having a conversation with CEO of Mobach, Mobafa Baker. I kind of get why it's Mobach now. And then Newton Douglas, Director of Policy Planning and Evaluation at the CPFSA. And we are talking about the Street and Working Children Program. I'm going over to you, Mobafa, and I want to ask you specifically about the initiative, the Street and Working Children Initiative through the Fiwi Picnic Initiative. Tell us a little bit more about that and your partnership with the CPFSA on that. That's so much.
Good morning again. Good morning to your listeners. The initiative has been branded Fiwi Picnic because as part of a team, we wanted to create a tagline, a slogan that would have connected with community, that would make it not necessarily focused on what parents are not doing, but to encourage and to elicit support from community about what was needed, which is that we wanted all our children to be children who are in school, who are getting ahead, coming from families and being supported as families, to be able to navigate life and to enjoy what it is to be a child. So we kind of crafted the title Fiwi Picnic because the focus was more positive and looking at ways in which we can all rally around children within Jamaica, depending on the communities that we were living in. So that's how it was branded. And I work with an amazing team of 10 other persons who support that initiative every day, going out into the community, interacting with children, interacting with their parents and caregivers, and interacting with other community members in order to help get them connected to supports and to spaces that they need to be able to get ahead.
And within the program, Mobafa, was the CPFSA and your agency able to identify guardians or parents, caregivers for all of the children who needed intervention?
Well, we were able to identify most. So a lot of what Mr. Douglas said, we've seen mirrored through the intervention. So we've seen young men, children, males, who are outnumbering females in communities who are working on the street. Most of, again, mirroring some of the information with the statistics, most of the children actually go back home to some space, whether it is home to grandparents because parents are no longer alive or not able to take care of them, or home to some other type of caregiver, an aunt in the biggest, broadest sense of it, meaning that the person is not necessarily a biological aunt, but somebody who has stepped in to take care of them because their parents or family members are not able to do so, or some other sort of connection point in their lives. What the project has done is that we've been able to, by getting into community, interacting with community stakeholders, talking to community groups, we've been able to be directed to families who will fall into the bracket of this project. And being very, very targeted in our approach, we've been able to help those families specifically be able to get the supports that they need. So in some instances, yes, it's been easier for us to identify caregivers for these children, and children who don't have caregivers, we've been able to direct them to CPFSA to be able to get the supports that they need from that organization.
And Newton, how many of those children were directed to your agency who don't have any caregiver at all?
I could probably provide some additional clarity around that. So we and Newton can probably add as well. So in total, I mean the numbers keep rising. So in total, we've worked with 107 to 7 children within the project. I would say the majority of them do have caregivers. There was only as little as 5 of them who did not have caregivers that would have been directed directly through to CPFSA. But the other 172 had somebody identified as a caregiver for them.
And what was the intervention that, what did that look like to ensure that those children who you identified, you intervened, don't end up back on the streets vending or hustling?
Well, the major thrust of the intervention was to get children either to attend school consistently, for those who were not consistently attending school, or to have them enroll in school, because obviously the challenge has been for some children is because they're not in that structured school environment, either because they're not in school, they're not on path, which provides them with meals, and therefore there is a need for them to be able to hustle on the street. We needed to get them into schools. We needed to get them connected to school systems or other systems to be able to have support. Each story is uniquely different. Many of the children come from families who are living in very precarious scenarios, meaning that they may be living on captured land, in some instances, or there may be a caregiver who's fleeing domestic violence or some form of violence in their previous community, so they're moving around in different spaces. Or there may be a situation where parents are not there and the child is being raised by a grandparent who is elderly. Or, as we've seen in some instances, some children, they come from families that don't have the necessary documentation. So grandfather never got registered and has no documentation. Right. So he has never been able to pass that on to child. And so child doesn't have any documentation. So they live in this world where they don't have a birth certificate or other sorts of documentation to be able to access supports.
On that point... On that point, Mabaf, I want to ask Newton this, because you've tapped into a very important issue here: the root causes for these behaviors and children ending up on the streets. Newton Douglas, what kind of work will the CPFSA be doing as it relates to ensuring that these root causes are part of the solution moving forward?
Thank you very much for that question. One of the things that we certainly we're looking at is this very initiative that we do have, and working with our partners, all stakeholders, in terms of addressing the issue. We recognize, though, that the prevalence or the issues or factors which contribute to children being on the street is not something that is a quick fix. It's something that's going to need the deliberate support of all stakeholders, and the CPFSA through this initiative is moving towards building that kind of network. This is the first phase in the initiative that we're looking at. The research identified over 60 communities across 9 parishes that we went in, where this is the first 8, and we're using this experience to build to get the experience, the lessons learned, and to use that to create a framework that will guide the intervention going forward. And the CPFSA is not doing this alone. We're doing this with a number of key partners through the the Street and Working Children Task Force that was established in 2021.
For the children, Newton, that you identified who were sleeping on the streets, what intervention was provided in relation to them? Was it that family members were identified, they were placed back in their home space, or is it that the CPFSA took them into state care?
All right, so one of the things that we try to do is to ensure that we keep children in the families once it is safe to do so. In working with these 18 youngsters, we were able to identify the families, work with the families to keep them in their spaces and to provide some sort of intervention, whether it be the social need. It could very well be that they needed a bed to stay with, or there are some other issues that we needed to do to get them back into their spaces, or in instances where we weren't able to achieve that, then we sought to provide some intervention in our child protection spaces until it was safe for them to go back into their familiar spaces.
And what did you...
As Mr. Baker indicated, one of the things that we try to do is to ensure they're in schools, ensure that the circumstances that are causing them to be on the street, which was in the minority, are addressed to keep them off. And one of the things that we also do is to ensure that those spaces are monitored on a regular basis to identify if those circumstances do exist or still exist, and to mobilize our network to respond to the issues.
And what did the research find as to why those 18 were sleeping on the streets?
Very interestingly, you'll find that there are those who probably were in the market area, so they gravitated towards that area. There are some who indicated that their families were out, whether it be on a party or other excursion, and so they felt sleeping on the street close to where the event was happening was a space that will be safe for them. There are those who probably had difficulty with the issue within the family that contributed to some level of separation, and so we worked with the families to bring that. So we found that those are some of the major issues that would contribute. Where we are a situation where children are identified to being on the streets when families are out in quote-unquote partying, etc., then we work with the families to address that so that that's a practice that is not continued.
Did you find that any of these children were migratory children, meaning they were from Clarendon and are now in Kingston, or they're from Kingston and they're now in Ocho Rios?
What we have found in the research and what is playing out as well in the Philippine intervention that we are carrying out is that our children are, in those circumstances, do migrate to other locations from time to time. So shifting away from the children sleeping on the streets. And so you'll find that there might be a set at one location, but because the space is being monitored and checked, you'll find that they will move to another space that they feel that they were able to do what they need to do on the street. So you'll find that they will move to another area and then at some point in time will go back to their base or find other means to occupy while they are in those places.
And just to remind us, Newton, were there any children that you identified that you had a difficulty intervening in their situation?
Child,
I could have.
Go ahead. I know that we have a delay for you, Newton, but that's fine. Let's take that question, Mubafa, and then we'll ask Newton a final question on what next for the project.
So in terms of difficulties, I think the wider understanding is that for a lot of families, the issues are broader than just the intervention of one particular child. What we found is that a lot of families are very resilient, but their issues are a multiplicity. There's a multiplicity of issues that they're navigating around. So I'll give you one quick example. So in this one particular family, they were navigating issues of disability, physical disability, mental health, living on captured land, and therefore, because there was disability by the parents, they're not able to work and they were not accessing disability grants. And because of that impacted child's, because the child felt as though it was now their responsibility as young as 13 to go out and hustle because parents were disabled and they're not able to be able to provide for them. So it was being able to now connect parents to the state opportunities through grants, being able to provide child with supports while in school, helping to navigate with family, the fact that they're living on captured land, to get some level of stability around the housing that they had. So it was a multiplicity of issues being affected. So it wasn't just, in some instances, it wasn't just taking child off of street and say go to school, but you had to deal with some of the other core challenges that the family was being faced with.
Yeah, we're out of time, but Newton, I just want to ask you quickly, as Ton had indicated, what's next for the project, really quickly?
All right. So currently we continue with the project. We will be doing an evaluation, and this will be the almost like an end of project evaluation to determine, as I had indicated earlier, lessons learned. What are the practice? There are some baseline, because that's what we intend to do with this first intervention, and establish a baseline in terms of how we will go into the other areas we have identified through the research. The CPFSA will continue to provide that on-the-ground support. Our team has been sensitized, and we will continue to work with the project team to ensure that those intervention and modalities that has been adopted, once they work, and we have seen where they are yielding results, will be maintained and be supported going forward. They are the CPFSA's mandate, and we strongly believe in this, is that where children can be served in families, that we work to ensure that is maintained, and work with the child and the family to keep them within that unit. Separation is not something that we do. It must be a last resort. And so we want to make that appeal very clear, that we want to work with the families to keep children within the home. We have a very robust deinstitutionalization program. We have what we call a children and family support unit. Those team will provide those kind of intervention, working with the families through counseling, through, just working through the issues and challenges, and tap into the resources, because there are resources that are available. And I know we don't have much time, but Mr. Baker would have probably indicated that we have seen where working with families, they were able to identify some of the social protection issues that they are facing with. We would have been able to point them into areas that they sometimes indicate that they were completely oblivious about. And so we feel that this initiative works. We will be going back to the drawing board and working with the task force, working within our own apparatus to ensure that the provision works. And I just want to indicate that the CPFSA remains committed to the mission of empowering our children and to supporting our families as part of nation building, as part of keeping our children safe.
Yeah.
And, tapping with our stakeholders.
All right.
We
have to cut it there. Thank you so much to Newton Douglas, Director of Policy Planning and Evaluation at the Child Protection and Family Agency, CPFSA, and CEO of MOBAC, Mobafa Baker, for joining us, talking to us about the CPFSA's Street and Working Children program. Some good stuff. We're going for a break. We'll be back with more on Front Page.
Chuck fried chicken always ready. Burn Chuck, original crispy. Burn Chuck, Cajun spicy. Burn Chuck, a barbecue. Burn Chuck, we are the Burn Chuck.
The time brought to you by Burchak Fried Chicken in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Ocho Rios is...
It's 9 minutes to 8 o'clock.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius out west in Montego Bay, and 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
It's the new Jamaica Police Force. We're embedding quality service delivering to the police training to ensure respectful and professional interaction with the public at all times. We have redesigned police stations to be more welcoming, featuring reception areas instead of guard rooms, private interview rooms so domestic calls can be interviewed separately. All this is part of the evolution of a strong force for good, shaped by the sound policy of the government, backed by the government financing of critical power, and guided by the visionary leadership within the force and the Ministry of National Security.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
Calling all fishermen in Jamaica. We are in the hurricane season. Weather changes are more frequent and you need your daily marine weather forecast to keep you informed of these changes. Hurry and register now with the Jamaica Fishermen Cooperative Union Limited. They will see that you get your daily marine report on time. Visit them at 44 Beechwood Avenue or call 876-968-0411. Don't delay.
More savings, more choices. Get active with Active Home Center. The one-stop shop for everything for your home. We have more savings, more choices, unbelievable prices. Great selection with the latest style. The kitchen, bathroom, right down to the tile. Buy the hottest items on spot, don't miss out. Best options under one roof, no doubt. More savings, more choices.
Visit us in store or online at www.activehomecenter.com.
We have more savings, more choices.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF, has seized 459 illegal firearms since the start of the year. Prime Minister and the Jamaica Labour Party leader, Dr. the Most Honourable Andrew Holness, made the announcement at a constituency conference in South Central St. Catherine on Sunday. In late May, the JCF made one of the largest single seizures of gun and ammunition in the country's history.
The lawmen seized 233 firearms along with over 50,000 rounds of ammunition. Playing excerpts for you this morning from the South Central St. Catherine meeting that the JLP held yesterday. At that meeting, Dr. Holness urged the criminals to surrender their illegal firearms and pursue meaningful, lawful employment.
Today, I'm pleased to report to you that murders in Jamaica today is down 44.1% when you compare it to last year. As of today, we have seized 459 guns. 459 compared to last year when we seized 377. The government has made significant investment in improving the capabilities of our security forces and Jamaica Customs to find the illegal guns coming into the country. I want to use this platform to say to anyone who is involved in gangs and criminal activity, change your ways. Find something else to do. If you were in it, figure out an exit plan. Transition out of it. Put on them things there. Bury the gun. Or better yet, turn it in. And I say this seriously because some people take it for joke. The security apparatus of the country today is far more sophisticated than it has ever been in the history of Jamaica. The capabilities that we are putting in our security forces are now better than the capabilities of the criminals, including our cyber capabilities. So I'm issuing fair warning. When crime go down, even the criminal win, because his life is likely to be spared. He has an opportunity to do something else. His family has an opportunity to do something else. So I say it right here. The transformation of your communities will start when we get the crime down. Now we know that in many communities in this area, there is need for greater social intervention. Minister Grange and myself, I want you to understand this, every day we talk about it, the struggle of some of the communities in this area. And so I want to use this platform to say to you that for the communities where your housing has reached a point where your seeing significant leaks. Remind me of the community, Babsy. Tars Pen, Ellerslie Pen. Those houses which were built more than 50 years ago, before I was born, some of them was built then. We are going to repair those houses and make sure that the conditions there are livable. I get the reports about the sewage in the community. The pipes are broken, some of the plants are not working. Babsy and myself, we've been talking about how we're going to do it. So as the crime comes down, as the gang activity recedes, the government and the state has to step in to make sure that the social services that you need, your housing, your health, your education, all of those things have to be dealt with. So in addition to improving the policing capabilities, we must also improve the social services to ensure that these communities can genuinely now be placed on a pathway to achieve the prosperity that everybody else around them is achieving.
That's Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness speaking yesterday at the South Central St. Catherine meeting that was held. And I think everybody can agree this morning that indeed we all want people to put down their guns.
Yeah.
We all want better social services in all communities across the country, especially those that when you walk into them, you realize, there's need for change. There's need for some transformation to happen in that community. And I think people are motivated, Sandre, to do better, align themselves with certain positive progress happening in the country when their environment, looks or feels a certain way. So that sort of transformation you hear the Prime Minister talking about, where certain communities where the houses are in a sort of a dilapidated state, to fix up those communities as well. Over the years as well, we've seen where political representatives have gone in, they've been removing zinc fence, that sort of a thing. It also has been under ZOSO too. People start to do better when their environment aligns with
it's
that.
looking better, feeling better, Yeah.
So, gonna take a break now. Across Jamaica is next.
Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:01.
Success, powered by learning. The Temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 24 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's Across Jamaica this morning.
Across Jamaica this Monday morning, it took 2 wreckers to clear the Miami Bay roadway in St. Ann on Sunday following an accident involving a tanker that was transporting ethanol. The tanker overturned, blocking the north-south highway near the toll plaza for several hours and causing significant traffic pileup. Deputy Commissioner in charge of Fire and Rescue at the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Warren Malcolm, spoke with the Nationwide News.
A truck that had overturned, it was actually blocking the road, hence 2 wreckers had to be called in. And they actually got the truck back on its wheel and they were placed on a wrecker which took that truck away. So the fire brigade actually stripped the roadway of debris and got everything back to normalcy. As a result, we were able to restore free flow of traffic. So while we had 1 wrecker on field that was not sufficient, so we had to call in another wrecker which could actually do the work. And with the roadway that was blocked in all directions, there was some challenging that the vehicles get in there. That was the most difficult, the most difficult issue that we faced.
Mr. Malcolm says the road was cleared around 5 p.m.
We got the call about 1:30 p.m. and we work up until approximately 5 o'clock in order to get things sorted out and the road eventually cleared. We have to make the scene clear so that persons were not in the vicinity and endanger themselves, because at any time if there was a naked light with the material, you could have a fire starting and possible an explosion. So we had to ensure that persons' area was properly cordoned off.
Warren Malcolm, Deputy Commissioner in charge of Fire and Rescue at the Jamaica Fire Brigade. The Ministry of Health opened a new administrative building for the St. Anne Health Department on Friday. Spread over 10,000 square feet, the building features modern workspace amenities to house administrative staff and healthcare specialists. The facility was built at a cost of $383 million with funds from the ministry and the National Health Fund. Also on Friday, the Health Ministry opened the Regional Health Facilities Maintenance Unit on the grounds of the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital. The facility provides centralized maintenance and repair services for biomedical equipment across the region. This includes blood pressure machines, electrocardiogram devices, and X-ray equipment. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says that the build-out of administrative facilities is as important as upgrades to patient care infrastructure. Jamaica's Alpha School of Music and New York's Borough of Manhattan Community College, BMCC, have signed an agreement to collaborate on music courses. The agreement will allow students from each school to register for certain classes at the other institution. Initially, the focus will be on certain courses and collaborative lecture series that bridge courses from both schools. Alpha's faculty will provide insight into Jamaica's rich musical heritage by leading sessions on the origins and evolution of ska and other Jamaican genres. Meanwhile, the New York-based community college will offer lessons on the history of genres such as jazz. The signing ceremony took place at Alpha's South Camp Road campus last Friday, June 6. It was witnessed by Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kamina Johnson-Smith, Community Relations Officer at the Consulate General of Jamaica in New York, Christopher Benjamin, BMCC's Vice President of Enrollment Management, Dr. Sanjay Ramdath, and the CEO of Sisters of Mercy Jamaica, Marcia Tai-Chun. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Monday morning.
Yo, genius! We just get the Burger King Double King combo. One original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Junior with cheese. Well, 2 sandwiches plus a small fries and soda for only $1,300.
You use the new rubber money. You did say the money can stretch a Burger King.
Me mean you get more food for your money. One combo, 2 sandwiches.
So you want I got eat whole of 2 sandwich, brother? My belly can stretch, you know.
Get the BK Double King combo. Limited time only at Burger King.
Guilty. Outperform, outlast. Guilty. We top performance. Guilty. Jackama. Reliable. Full stop. Not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electrician. Fancy select tools, free parts and free repairs. Free parts, free repairs. In 2 to 3 years. Hilton. Available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61124. Delta Supply. We service what we sell.
Welcome to Inside Customs, brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, Country Above Self.
Welcome Welcome again to Inside Customs here on Nationwide 90 FM, a product of NNN and, of course, the Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA. On the program this week, we're going to deal with an interesting topic. All the topics here are interesting anyway, but this week we're dealing with the Proceeds of Crime Act, how it deals with the movement of cash across borders, why it's important for you to declare how much cash is in your possession when coming into the island. Does it apply only to passengers traveling by air? Does it also extend to passengers traveling by sea? And of course, what happens with cash when it is seized by the state, when it is confiscated? Is it like other goods, other contraband, destroyed, or does it go somewhere else? Of course, Jamaica Customs Agency has been in the news recently, what with their contribution to the police's seizure of several, well, hundreds of firearms and tens of thousands of rounds of ammunition. The Jamaica Customs Agency continues to be at the forefront of revenue collection for the government and national security, and dealing with the POCA and its relationship with the Customs Act. Just one way we can highlight the work of this crucial agency. My name is George Davis. That was a long preamble, but my guest this week is Senior Legal Officer at the Jamaica Customs Agency, Francois Knight. Welcome, Francois.
Hi, George. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. All right, let's start with the obvious. What is the POCA, Proceeds of Crime Act?
All right, well, POCA is an acronym for the Proceeds of Crime Act, as you just said. It is a law that was passed by Jamaican lawmakers in 2007 to provide for the investigation, identification, and recovery of, as the name suggests, the proceeds of crime and for connected matters. It is an important piece of legislation that was created to empower and support law enforcement officers and agencies in their very important work of combating financial crime.
All right. How then does the Proceeds of Crime Act, the POCA, intersect with the Customs Act, if it does intersect at all?
Well, it does intersect. A big part of the work that we do at the Jamaica Customs Agency involves the Proceeds of Crime Act, and the Customs Act is the chief governing law for the Jamaica Customs Agency. As it relates to their relationship, I would say they work hand in hand to regulate transnational movement of illicit cash and goods.
All right. What specifically does POCA do, Francois, as it relates to the activities that are relating to the cross-border movement of cash?
The cross-border movement of funds is specifically provided for in POCA under Section 101. The section tells you that any person who transports cash into Jamaica or out of Jamaica exceeding $10,000 or its equivalent in any other currency, they must report it and give certain information and particulars, not only about the cash, like its source and intended purpose, but the carrier himself. Failure to make a report as required under that section is an offense, and that person is liable, if he is convicted in a parish court, to a fine not exceeding 250,000 Jamaican dollars or 3 times the amount of cash that was being transported, whichever is greater.
Wow.
Or to imprisonment not exceeding a term of 3 months, or to both such fine and imprisonment. It depends on the circumstances.
Yes.
Now, also, as it relates to cross-border movement of funds, POCA has a civil jurisdiction. It provides for authorized officers, which includes customs officers, to seize the cash and apply to the parish court for an order for forfeiture of the seized cash.
So it's not as if they'll seize your cash, stash it somewhere, you serve the time if you get sentenced to hard time, and then come back at the end of your sentence to spend that cash.
No. No.
Yeah, you apply for the forfeiture. Well, yeah, so that's why you have to be on the up and up from the start. Francois, there's an organization, or rather an entity, an organ of government that has been in the news recently, the Financial Investigations Division. I would imagine that there is some relationship between the Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, and the FID. What's that?
Definitely. The Jamaica Customs Agency shares information and intelligence with its local and foreign strategic investigative partners. That is, so far as we are permitted by law and confidentiality obligations. And we do this to proactively combat cross-border movement of funds for organized criminal activities. Now, as you can imagine, The Financial Investigations Division is one such local partner of the JCA. Now, the JCA works side by side with the FID, aiming to not only stifle organized criminal activity, but to ultimately achieve a more stable financial sector and investor-friendly Jamaica. Now, to demonstrate our partnership and collaborative efforts with the FID, in June 2022, the Jamaica Customs Agency and the FID signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at strengthening that strategic relationship.
Yes, indeed. The JCA and the FID working in lockstep where the issue of the movement of funds, which may be the proceeds of crime, are concerned. All right, so we've dealt with that very important relationship. The issue of the movement of cash, let me ask you this. Who should declare cash upon traveling? And I ask that because people often believe it is restricted to only people flying into the country, maybe because they only have the experience of traveling to Jamaica and from by air. But who should declare cash upon traveling?
Well, simply put, George, any person arriving in the island, whether by airport or seaport, must declare to customs officers that they are transporting cash or goods into the island. So any person.
So if I'm a famous movie star and my yacht, I started my yacht from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and I come into Jamaica because I want to spend some time in Ocho Rios, do I have to make that declaration as well?
Once you engage with customs officers when you enter the island, you are required to make a declaration.
All right. Specifically, what will happen if a passenger fails to make that declaration that, look, I have $50,000 or equivalent in my possession, which is well above the limit of 10,000 US or the Jamaican equivalent?
Right. So if a passenger fails to declare cash, again, it is a criminal offense under Section 101 of POCA. And the person failing to make that declaration is liable to the fine of $250,000, as I said before, or to imprisonment for up to 3 months, or both such fine and imprisonment. Again, under the civil jurisdiction of POCA, the undeclared cash may be seized by the customs officer based on reasonable grounds he has for suspecting that the cash is probably criminal in origin.
Hear you on that. Well, you know what? To come in this discussion, Francois, we need to talk about what happens when the cash is seized by customs. And it's a relevant question because as I spoke about the JC and the role it has played in the seizure of firearms and ammunition in recent times, people have been asking, so what happens to the guns? What happens to the ammunition? People want to know what happens to the cash. But we will deal with that in next week's edition of the show. So if you want to know what happens to the cash that is seized by the Jamaica Customs Agency, you need to return next week for a second installation of Inside Customs, where we'll have that discussion. Perhaps there are steps that must be taken when cash is seized. Francois will explain those steps. And of course, we'll have to answer the question, well, have to deal with the issue of the advice that he would give to persons on behalf of the Jamaica Customs Agency about how to conduct themselves, how to govern themselves when traveling across borders and they intend to move some cash. So Francois Knight, legal officer at the Jamaica Customs Agency, was my guest this week. He's going to be my guest next week as we talk about the Proceeds of Crime Act, how it intersects with the Jamaica Customs Agency, and what is the responsibility of persons moving cash into the island, whether you're traveling by the sea or you're traveling by the air, the duty you have to declare and the limit that you have, and of course, the ramifications if you don't make a truthful declaration. Francois, thank you for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me, George.
All right, that's it for Inside Customs this week. We'll be back next week, same time, same station.
That was Inside Customs, brought to you by the Jamaica Customs Agency, country above self.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is...
It's 8:17.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy, it's all good inside, is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 29 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Commercial spaces for you. Parks and attractions for you. Housing and residential developments for you. beautiful rental properties for you. Improving quality of life through infrastructure development across Jamaica for you. The Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Brought to you by the Urban Development Corporation.
UDC for you.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by PowerTech Jamaica. Reinforce windows with plywood or storm shutters. Clean gutters, check your roof, and tie down loose outdoor items. A single flying object can cause major damage. When the power fails, don't be left in the dark. PowerTech supplies Jamaica with reliable UPS systems and backup generators, perfect for homes and businesses. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by PowerTech Jamaica. Telephone 876-908-0196-9.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by Coast to Coast Concrete. Close your windows, doors, and hurricane shutters. If you do not have hurricane shutters, close and board up all windows and doors with plywood. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by Coast to Coast Concrete. Telephone 876-754-7472.
Are you looking for a place where your imagination can blossom into something amazing? Where you can be as creative as you dare with facilitators who will prepare you to succeed in a global career? Or maybe you're looking for a place that practices tertiary level education in a practical way? Then you belong at the Vocational Training Development Institute, VTDI. Become the best you can be. You belong here. VTDI, empowering people, transforming lives.
Are you ready for something mega? Spend $6,500 or more before GCT, drop your entry in the box, and you can win a 2025 Hyundai Tucson. It's the Mega Wheels Tour promotion, April 5th to September 28th. Second prize, a $50,000 shopping spree every month for a year. Third prize, a $30,000 shopping spree every month for a year. Brought to you by Hyundai, Redstone, Heineken, True Milk, Rex, Walker's Wood, Downing, CPJ Daiquiri, and Carriage's Juice Concentrate. Only at Megamart, locations island-wide. Megamart, best value by far. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
We're back with you. It's Nationwide this morning. We are turning our attention to Toll Authority. Trans Jamaica Highway is having a 50% discount on T-Tag packages. Now, I envy the persons who will benefit from this, Michelle, because I didn't get mine at 50%. T-Tag packages include a T-Tag sticker, a swipe card, and $500 worth of toll credits. For more on the promotion, we're joined by CEO of Toll Authority, Mr. Jerome Palmer. Good morning, Jerome.
Hey, blessings, Andre. How are you doing? Good morning to Jamaica and your team members there.
I'm good hearing your voice, Jerome. It's been a while. So I want to get into the questions straight away. Can you tell us a little bit more about the current 50% discount on the T-Tag packages, and as well why we're seeing those agents at the toll booths selling these packages in earnest?
All right, so we want to acknowledge the role of the work of Trans Jamaica Highways in ensuring that they can boost, smooth and efficient use in and out of the toll plazas. What we realize is that data suggests that the cash paying by cashier takes a little bit longer. And if you look at peak hours, you see more persons in the line with cash and less persons in the tag lines. And therefore, we have to increase the number of persons using the tags. Mm-hmm. And the best way to increase that is to lower cost. When you lower cost, it increases demand, right? And so with this promotion that began on May 12th and will end on June the 30th, we're really sending a clear message to the public that, listen, TransJam want to ensure that as many Jamaicans have access, and the toll authority, in support of them, wants to ensure that this message gets out to all Jamaicans. We understand the role of the toll roads in Jamaica in facilitating business, leisure, and, you know.
So what
position is the vein of the economy, and by having more persons having access, then it would really increase the speed of doing business in Jamaica.
So what prompted Trans-Jamaica Highways to launch this promotional offer at this time, understanding the traffic issues, etc.? But what would be the other motivating factors?
Well, as the authority began to speak to the other intentions of Trans-Jamaica Highway, what we can say is, as a toll authority, we love this initiative and we see the need to support it 150%. And not only support it, what is happening at the moment is this. So persons are listening and they're wondering, oh, what's happening? Explain, please. That's for some persons. Some persons are fully aware. No, so in Jamaica, currently, we have two operators. We have TransJam and we have North-South, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, TransJam, that's from Portmore to the Vineyards at the moment. They are having a massive 50% discount. No, it was $2,500. No, it's $1,250. And on that, you're getting $500 toll credit, right? This is really to ensure that more persons can access the T-tags and not just access it for their small, micro, medium-sized, or large businesses. But we're talking about the average persons who, you might not live in a Portmore, you might not live, but you just want to have a tag just in case. These things don't expire now. It doesn't expire, right? So you just need to get it and have it on your vehicle. The next thing that we want to note is for ministries, departments, and agencies, with their massive fleet vehicles. This is something for them an opportunity right now for us to get some tags. Listen, summer is coming up.
Yeah.
It's summer. Sorry, forgive me.
It is summer.
It's summer. So, Jamaica, get up.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to any of the toll plaza,
the toll booths.
The toll booth. Thank you so much. Along from Portmore to Vineyards, any of those, if you go there between 4 in the evening to around 7 in the evening, you are going to see persons out there selling the tags. TransJam is doing a lot to ensure that more persons get these tags, and the toll authority is doing the best that we can do to support it, right? We're hopeful that we can have some more conversations on this, but we have to really increase the uptake across Jamaica because the T-tag lines are faster. You drive through, sometimes you don't have to stop. If you clean a window, you look at the spot where the thing reads, you don't have to stop. You just drive up slowly, green light, you go through less than 10 seconds, or less than 5 seconds. When dirty window, 10 seconds, like myself. But it's very, very important that more Jamaicans participate in this. Now, how may you reach out to them to get your tag if you want more information? It is 876, that is 876-355-3336. So that's 876-355-3336, right? And so again, Trans-Jamaica Highway is having a 50% discount on T-tags, and it was $2,500, no, it's $1,250. And with that, you get in $500 toll credit, you get in a T-tag sticker and a swipe card with that, all right? And the offer ends on the 30th. Today is I think today's the 9th.
Today's the 9th, yeah. So just 21 days to go.
Thank you so much. And we have to hit the ground on consistently with persons. Just want more persons to go there and get those tags. Just get the tag.
So have you seen an uptick since you've started the promotion?
I'm not able to articulate on that at the moment, but I do know that with data would suggest that when you lower the price of something, it increases the willingness to buy from persons. So from the toll authority stance, we do know that there will be other opportunities for us to give further update on that. And as a matter of fact, I do believe that in our next conversation, you will see TransJam with us having that conversation with you to provide Jamaica with maybe a next plea to join again at the next time.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much for that, Jerome Palmer, CEO of the Toll Authority of Jamaica, telling us about our T-Tag packages, the 50% discount, and of course, the additional $500 that you'll get when you get your T-Tag in this time
If you're
period.
in a line, Sandra, if you're in the line, Mr. Roden, if you're in the line and you purchase a tag, you can leave the to pay with cash line and just drive into the tag line.
All right.
Get in the cash and the tag immediately. So, listen, my final plea, listen, guys, let's come out and support ministries, departments, agencies, small, micro, medium, large-size enterprises. Local man who have a local business on the side, regular Jamaican, just come out and get these tags. Very, very important, all right?
All right. Thank you so much, Jerome Palmer, CEO of Toll Authority. We're going for a break, and when we're back with you, we'll be having more.
The time by Grace Good Move is...
It's 8:29.
The following hurricane tip is brought to you by Trelawney Co-op Credit Union. Avoid driving as roads may be blocked. Avoid sightseeing or entering a storm-ravaged area unnecessarily. You could be mistaken for a looter. The preceding hurricane tip was brought to you by Trelawney Co-op Credit Union. For us, you're always number one. Telephone 876-954-3253.
In Jamaica, your rights are protected by our Constitution. From the right to education to freedom of expression, every citizen deserves respect and dignity. But remember, with rights come responsibilities. Let's uplift and respect each other and stand against injustice. Together, we can make Jamaica a better place for ourselves and future generations. Know your rights. Embrace your responsibilities. This message was brought to you by the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
Make a toast to your future. The JTA Cooperative Credit Union is by your side. All educators, the best is what you deserve.
We'll keep your dreams alive.
Competitive loans to help you grow.
We'll take you higher.
Great returns on your savings. A bright future is in the making.
Build the best you with the best credit union. We are committed to serving you.
The JTA Cooperative Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
You've led teams, built businesses, and influenced change. Now, lead research that transforms your field. Apply now for the University of the Commonwealth Caribbean's Doctor of Business Administration or Doctor of Professional Practice. Flexible, research-based, and designed for working professionals. All UCC programs are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. Learn more and apply online at ucc.edu.jm. UCC, fostering leadership and innovation.
Have you ever been to a store and felt right at home? The minute you entered, you knew that's where you were meant to be. Picture it. The dedicated warm staff greet you with a smile, show exceptional professionalism, and still make you feel like family. Everything is catered to you. You know you're getting the best, because to them, you're the best. That's the New Walters Pharmacy, 18 High Street, Black River. Call 965-2264 or 476-3939. The New Walters Pharmacy. Pharmacy. Everything exceptional.
It's now time for calls 630-9371-4, 630-9371-4, and 618-8255, 618-8255. We're taking your calls right here on Nationwide this morning. Did you say we have Audley with us? Good morning, Audley.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. You?
I'm very, very well. But I just, because, I have something that's bothering me.
What's bothering you?
I think an election is almost around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I listened to your news this morning.
Yes.
And all I hear your opposition leader speaking about is talking about Dennis Strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm questioning. The opposition leader don't have any policies, anything to come with to Jamaican people to tell them.
Mm.
Dennis Strong is in a job, regardless of what he may think. You can't be this nasty up the gentleman. He works with him once.
I think he admitted that on the political platform. He said he's known him for years. Yes.
You have an audience with you.
Mm-hmm.
You when an election is around the corner. What you will be using that medium to do is to tell the Jamaican people what you're going to do. What are the policies that they are coming with? Instead of that, you're going on about Dennis Strong. I don't know the gentleman. I don't know him.
Mm-hmm.
But let me tell you something. If you get a job at Nationwide and somebody tarnishing your reputation, right? What it is saying.
Because I didn't study journalism.
Right. Well, I'm saying to you, all right, whether or not you study journalism, yes or no, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You get a job. Right? Are you saying to me, there comes a time when you need to stop. Move on to something else. What he's doing is he's trying to destroy the gentleman. Right? And what happened? You're setting up your thugs against this gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
The man have a life to live. And I think the opposition needs leader. If this is what he's coming with to the Jamaican people, we don't need him. We don't need him. Because the man is in the position. You had a demonstration last week. It never makes any sense. Because most of the people who were there, when they asked them the question, what are they demonstrating? They don't even know. They don't know the man. He's an account. Come on. And you're telling me now, you have an election, which I'm sure at very early. Tell the Jamaican people what you're coming with. So people can say, well, me have a choice. But if you're going to tarnish people's integrity, you're going to tarnish people because you don't like them or what they're saying, this is not what we want as a leader or as a Prime Minister of Jamaica. We want better. And I just tell you that, Mr. Man, I'm just annoyed with him. He needs to change his... I listen to the Prime Minister last night. The Prime Minister spoke about crime going down and the government must drop the weapons. That's what I want to hear a leader talk about. What the development of a country, not to destroy a person. And I'm hoping that Jamaican people are listening to this man. He don't come with no idea. He don't come with no policy. Not come with to destroy. We don't want to go back to the 70s nor the 80s. We want a new Jamaica. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you, Audley. Who do we have next? Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning. I agree with that, gentleman. I have said from early. Good morning to you and your host. I have said from ever since when I heard Mr. Golding trying to speak like a Jamaican, like he wants to speak in the Jamaican vernacular. And
what do you mean by he's trying?
His tone. His tone, brother.
You say he's trying. When he's speaking patois, he's trying.
When he used to speak, I never hear him speak that way in past before when he was in the Senate or somewhere there. He never used to speak like that. But anyway, my point is that a lot of foreigners want to speak like Jamaican, right? Now, here that is not so much a problem. The problem is that his tone. When you listen to him, he come about as if he's quarreling. Now, I said to you, I think last week, when you listen to him, Mr. Patterson, Mr. Golding, or even Mr. Hollis now. Right? He would never get zero. That would be too high for him to get. Trust me. He just come across like some of the squad, keep on quarreling. Even if he against Dennis Strong, this tone sound as if he has something against the man. Now, I'm sure when the lady, Aluma Summers, they speak about something about PNP up on some board or something like that.
Yeah.
If she had said that, he would not have a problem with it. But because the man said, look here, I am a poor man. I'm a check me that day, I have about 8 bank accounts. Right? That's what the man was saying. Because somebody have 10 bank accounts doesn't mean that the person is in something. And you use that against the man? We don't think in Jamaica recognize that what he's doing is just nonsense, as far as I see. Because he has to be speaking for you to love him. Can you agree to disagree? Can you see somebody who's against, well, maybe doing things that is against you, not necessarily that he's trying to destroy, but he's different from you. Think different from you, and you want to kill a man? The man have a family, as a gentleman, to live like anybody else. And as you said, he's coming with absolutely nothing new to say to Jamaican people. This is what I'm going to offer. Here I have a better policy. I can fix the roads. I can have a better education system. I can fix the hospital. PNP have not, as far as I learned at least 3 months ago, that they have not built not one single hospital in Jamaica. And if they have not done so, they have no right to come and talk about hospitals. Right? Because they must see in them to see that Jamaica need a hospital. They are sick. They need to go to the hospital and a check up in their head. Because they heard him talk to people, talk down to people. He called the gentleman boy, and when they asked him to recant, he said, no, he can't. But he expect we to come bow to him. Jamaican to bow to no Englishman.
All right, we have another caller, Dwayne. Thank you, Dwayne. We have another caller. Who do we have? Carl, good morning.
Morning. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
What happened to the PMP woman movement concerning the lady who take up over Julian Robinson constituency? Or they not out there with demonstrate about it? Is it that she's a labor right?
I don't know the answer to that question, but
the one the heavy.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that one at all.
Okay. I want to ask you, Mike, because you're young, you don't know them things. Kelly, that was in St. James. I think you see that Homer Davis is now occupied. It have 2 daughters who work in a Ministry of Labour. And everybody did know that them are PMP. Wonder where was Golding. Wonder where was the British citizen at that time. To say no, once them have any connection to any PMP person in Canberra. And also, I think the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, son, did I want to head person at the solid waste board. So I agree with those 2 gentlemen. Well, Golding and who we have around him, the only thing them was working on for the last 4 years was Anjo decoration and 28 bank book. And if you any one of these banks that you have in Jamaica, Sagicor, NCB, CIBC, name them, you can open a whole heap of different accounts in one of them. Check it out for yourself. And Mike, if you should check both Bunting and Golding and have whole heap of accounts, for them was business first. So it is all stupidness.
You're still business people.
And still business people.
All right. We have one more call, Carl.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
But if they want to see something, tell them to come in and send catching last night and see we out there. Them have a big guest coming. We start and we will be in Rhoda Crawford one this evening.
I hear you, Carl. I hear you.
Time we getting ready. We not talk about no time come. Cause no time no come for no white man in our country with no chain.
All right.
Back off with the chain and go back on him.
All right, Carl. We're going to TV by now. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
Not too bad.
That's any man.
I'm Mr. White, TV man.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me what Mr. Golden wants from Jamaica, sir?
I can't tell you, Mr. Golden. If I tell you the one there.
But is this man operating from your standpoint where you are?
Mm-hmm.
Is this person operating like they have Jamaica at heart?
That's a good question. I'm just not the one to answer it.
How can a person walk and trample on people, profession, people career, people life?
Mm-hmm.
No, you think this man, if this man can do this to Dennis Strong, I want you to look clearly what I'm saying. If this man can do this to Dennis Strong, that man can defend himself with whatever position he has. He can defend himself because what they're saying about him, he know not know so.
Well, not only him defending himself, a lot of people came out in his defense as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If these people are doing Dennis Strong that, what do you think these people will do to the lower class of Jamaicans who don't have any position near to them if they should have power?
That's a good question.
You think this person would hand down anything to these people? If you can look at Jamaica per people money, the money that's spent in Jamaica here, the money that came Mr. Golden are our money from the backs of poor people.
Mm-hmm.
That pay Mr. Golden. And Joe Wellness is getting what, $9 million fees pay?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Golden is getting what? Yes, correct to make the people understand.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Golden is getting $24 to $25 million for his pay.
Mm-hmm.
Good? And the same Jamaican people who pay Mr. Golden and pay Mr. Wellness. Mr. Wellness save up their money, can't come here to put it. Save up their money and build something for the people in St. Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And when the man finished, you went to this man said, so-called millions of dollars. They are recognizing I'm high side. So if that is almost in here, 6 billion, if all this money do not recognize to you what the people have built, that Antoine is built for the people, how much more is going to be recognized in your side? These people don't look like them, the Jamaican don't even know who they are dealing with.
Mm.
This man don't give red head, or red there you call it. Whether them jump for him, cannot jump for him, as long as he collecting something from the kitty, and he knows something is coming from the kitty for him. He don't need to do nothing for them. He just walk on them, and them put him in power, he gladly take it, and trample on them more, and eat and drink more from the reserve now.
We're going to have
done a booking ticket.
We're going to have to cut it there, Mr. TV,
yes.
Man. I'm out of time. Thanks for calling.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, sir. Yes.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is...
It's 8:46.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King. Stretch your dollar at Burger King with a new Double King combo. 1 original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Jr. with cheese. Plus a small fries and drink for only $1,300.
Until the night is over, I wanna hold you so tight, coming closer. It's been a hell of a ride, but every single moment you were there by my side. Whenever I'm broken, you make me feel whole. Whenever I'm lonely, you're there for my soul. Wherever you are, girl, that's where I call my own. Whenever you doubt it, I'll be letting you know. Girl, I want to be dancing with you forever. You see through the storm and take me as I am. Baby, it's magic anytime that we're together. I make I just love you and hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand. Hold you for my hand.
Over and over again, yeah, my love is burning, babe. Feels like time is frozen and light is for us. We're alone again, every moment's golden, yeah. Feelings I've been holding.
Alright, I see the YouTube buzzing about the cause, but here what, I'm not engaging the way you guys can engage. So you guys can engage, and that's fine. I'll only allow our callers, of course, to say what they have to say. You, our listeners, you have the opportunity to call in and say what you want to say as well. I'm a facilitator as it relates to that. But right now, I'm in my favorite segment, so you can go and type left, right, and center up on YouTube. You can go and do anything. But a birthday time now, and of course, I'm bigging up Garfield G Cool Laws, former NNN boss. I'm bigging you up. I'm telling you a very, very happy birthday. Very happy birthday to you. Blessings, Sir King, sending special greetings to you, and the family here sending special greetings to you on this your day. Also today is the birthday of Dion Jackson Miller.
Happy birthday.
Dion is celebrating her birthday to you. Special happy birthday to you, Dion. Wishing you many more years of life, indeed. All right, I'm seeing another one here. Please send birthday greetings for my cousin Nardia Young. She celebrates her birthday today. From Maxine and all her family members. A very special birthday to you. And Monica Brown is a VIB. Very important birthday from St. Elizabeth. Monica, sending special greetings to you from myself, from Mr. King, from Tawna, because Tawna is from St. Elizabeth.
Happy birthday.
And it's coming from Brianna Benton.
Happy birthday to you, Monica. Enjoy your day. Over on the Facebook page, happy birthday greetings going out to Olivia Jordan, Lisa Bartley Russell. It's also the birthday of Kamisha Valentine. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday greetings going out to Javon Phillips, Annie Venven Reed, Anne-Marie Phillips, and those are the birthdays I'm seeing here for Facebook. Happy birthday to all of you. Wishing for you a great day. Belated happy birthday greetings going out to Veron McLean there at JSIF. Belated happy birthday to you, Veron. I'm hearing your birthday was yesterday. Hope you had a good one.
All right, happy birthday going out to Easton. Wishing you a wonderful birthday coming from Hermine here on our YouTube chat. Hermine, Mr. King, you have to... I'll leave it. Margot Leb, of course, saying happy birthday to the celebrants. Let me see, have I missed anybody who's celebrating a birthday? Yes, happy 82nd birthday to Mrs. Cherry Levy. Or is it Levi? Well, all right, Miss Cherry Levy of Seaview Gardens, coming from Paulette Wheatle, wishing you a very happy birthday. It's your 82nd birthday. You have experienced life, and I'm wishing you many more years to go on those 82 years.
Arlene Rose sending belated happy birthday blessings to her brother Oliver Henriquez in Atlanta. Happy birthday to you, Oliver Henriquez. You celebrated your birthday yesterday. Hope you had a good one. The greetings coming from your sister Arlene Rowe. Trisha Foster sending happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Damian White. And happy birthday to Natanya. Oh, his wife's name is Natanya Ranger White. So happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Damian White and Natanya Ranger White, celebrating their anniversary today. Greetings coming from Trisha Foster.
Yeah.
Who else is on the B-Day list? Who else is celebrating
Happy
a birthday
to
today?
the artist Rootsman Abija, coming from the High Point Band. Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Wishing for you a great day. And who done it is sending happy birthday to daughter Simone. Oh, yesterday was her birthday. So belated birthday greetings to you, Simone. More love, health, and prosperity to you. Who done it sending happy birthday greetings to you, Simone.
You know, Hermine said, I read the birthday so dry. Hermine, oh my God, Mr. King, come on. Yeah,
it's
all right,
Hermine.
so Hermine. I'm trying to get it right. Special happy birthday greetings going out to her husband, Easton, on this his day, June 9th. 2025, a special birthday greetings coming to you from your wife, and she whispered to me that she has something very special planned for you today, so don't worry about it. Trust me, she says, you know, it's all covered, but we're wishing you a very special happy birthday, Easton. So just know your wife is looking out for you, and she not play about your birthday, understand what I said? So yeah.
Happy birthday.
PB said not mine, min. Well, PB, her, min, her. Yeah, all right, fine. I'm getting it.
So if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday to you. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you
got
as
this
well.
Anniversary, Mr. and Mrs. Damian White.
Yeah,
and
I did.
You did? Okay, great. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Hold you for my hand, hold you for my hand, hold you for my hand.
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King. Stretch your dollar at Burger King with a new Double King combo. 1 original chicken sandwich plus a Whopper Junior with cheese, plus a small fries and drink for only $1,300.
You carry the world on your back, but look at you tonight. The lights, your face, your eyes, exploding like fireworks in the sky. So doing your body while you're pushing on me. Don't you in the party? I could do this all week. We'll be dancing till the morning, go to bed, we won't sleep. Chumma, kiss it, daddy, body, girl. Touching on your body while you're pushing on me. Don't you in the party? I could do this all week. We'll be dancing till the morning, go to bed, we won't sleep. Chumma, kiss it, daddy, body. Look what we found. Karma reached out into our hearts and pulled us to our feet now. You know the truth is, we could disappear anywhere as long as
Arlene Rose sending belated birthday blessings to her cousin Denise Burton Young. They're in Florida. Happy birthday to you, Denise Burton Young, NFL. And she's also sending birthday greetings to her friend Barbara Briscus, is it? AKA Jackie, there in Philadelphia. And also to Polly Hardin. So, happy birthday to all of them. Belated birthday greetings to all of them. And Arlene is saying that her friends, all of them celebrated their birthdays on June 6th. So that's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Nayoka Nelson sending happy birthday to Shane Mark from your co-worker Nayoka and Candy. Your co-workers Nayoka and Candy. Happy birthday to you, Shane Mark. Wishing for you a great day. Thanks so much to our technical operator Jermaine King, our super producer Michelle McCrae Smith, and our super editor Kimon Thompson back in her chair this morning. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
I'm Sandre.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Karma reached out into our hearts and pulled us to our feet now. You know the truth is, we could disappear anywhere as long as I got you there. When the sun dies, till the day shines. When I'm with you, there's not enough time. You are my spring flower, watching you bloom. Wow, we are surrounded, but I
can only see
You just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
exploding like fireworks in the sky. So touching your body while you're pushing on me. Put you in the party, I could do this all week. We'll be dancing till the morning, go to bed, we won't sleep. Chumma, 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 kiss it, daddy, body.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.